Hello, everybody. I have been informed by everyone in the chat, apparently, as well, that some weird stuff has happened. I still intend to continue to do the news, but it sounds like Spoon has, I'm guessing, what, like just minutes ago, talked a bunch of shit? This is very awkward, because we are joined tonight by NewsFist. Thanks for showing up, man. I'm really sorry about this. This is extremely awkward. But
that's okay. It's great to be here. I
let's
disavow any drama involved, obviously.
Yeah, well, let's just go over it right now. So Spoon claims I don't pay him. Here you go.
Nah. Let's leave it to the fucking end.
No,
Business
no,
first.
I'm gonna get it through right now.
Business
here's
before
the thing. No, because this is
autism.
because everyone in the chat is asking about it. Okay, so here's what the fuck happened. All right, Spoon has asked me for money. Back last year, 6 months ago, I gave him complete control over the channel. All of it. The whole fucking channel. See, me, I don't... Is this even the right one? No, it's not. This is him asking me for money in retrospect, which, by the way, he is asking me for something like $30,000. All at once, by the way. So here it is. This is the conversation. You can see this is December 13th of 2024. Let me zoom in here. This is me giving the entire channel over to Spoon so that he could monetize it in perpetuity from that point onward. He had access and complete control of the channel since December. I'm going to be very clear about the things that I said here. I handed the whole channel over to him. This is my two-factor authentication thing. It should be fine. Just let me know so I can make sure to accept it. Or if the password doesn't work, that's what I've got written down. This blocked out part is me sending the password. You can take all the profits from it from now on, provided you still want to do it. I talked to Trump about getting better at encouraging donos, which I am very bad at, guys. I don't know, years of someone else's money. Now, I'm going to have to also reveal this, guys. Every single aspect of this show is run by me. I get all the news stories. I do all of the preparation. I make the thumbnails. I make everything for the channel. Spoon shows up. Okay?
about the same level of actual involvement as I have.
Well, yeah, Bill can attest to this because, of course, Bill has been here the whole time. All right? So, whenever Spoon would ask me for money, I would pay him. But the thing is, too, also, Spoon would look at the net earnings from the channel because, by the way, he's had access to it, and would want the net earnings. I'm the one who pays the taxes on the stuff.
Not
okay?
even net, the gross earnings.
Yes, excuse me, not the net, the gross, excuse me. He wanted the gross. Here, you can even see, though, I got even more specific. I said, if you want to sell the channel, I gave it to you. It's nearing 10K subs. You can just sell it if you want. This is in December. So, what does Spoon want me to do? Exactly.
And this is
now,
as we're currently hung up in the courts dealing with refiling our taxes in Guernsey.
Yeah. No, it doesn't even matter about that. The reality is that this is... I don't know what the fuck to do, guys. He said that he was going to expose me back in November. Late November, early December. He was going to expose me as being bad to work with. Now, by the way, up until this point, whenever he had asked me for money, I gave it to him. But around November, he came to me and asked me for $30,000. Okay? He wanted all of the back money in perpetuity, based again on the gross estimate of how much the channel had earned over the course of 3 years. Up until that point, whenever he asked me to get paid, I sent him money. But then he asked me for $30,000 out of fucking nowhere, essentially.
And this is as the... Keep in mind, I'm also involved in running the channel on the back end. I don't take any wage from this. I was on the understanding I always had with it is any funds taken by the channel are a slush fund to pay for travel expenses or similar expenses for channel members. Well, for people who are at the staff end of things.
Okay.
Similarly to how we tried to I can't remember what event it was, like a year or so back, we tried to convince Spoon to fly down to mainland England so we could all attend one of the meetups together. Yep, we tried to do that. He refused outright.
So, okay, guys. So he asked me for $30,000 all up front. He was unwilling to even discuss any kind of how we're going to split the money or whatever. And is the money all spent? No. But how am I supposed to give someone 30 grand? Does anybody here have 30 grand they can just give to somebody? First of all, it's not that much money. It's about half of that in terms of the actual net profits that you take away after taxes and after YouTube's cut. Okay? So let's try to put that into perspective as well. Spoon did not get paid nothing either. The Spoon just wanted
more than me.
What?
Got paid a damn sight more than me.
Wait, you guys are getting paid?
Wait, show receipts and not DMs. What receipts do you want? You want me to show my bank account? This is me giving him the channel. Right here. This is him being given the channel. Now, guys, I didn't want to do this, but if Spoon decided to do it, then here you go. The reason why I took the channel back is because Spoon, after having it for 6 months, told me that he had never bothered to hook up his Google AdSense account to it. Because he was too lazy or too dumb to figure out how to do it. All right? So I don't really know what else I was supposed to do. And I am really hurt that he chose to do this because as far as I knew, Scrump had talked to him and he had decided to back off. The reality is that I think there's probably something going on in his personal life. This has been going on for a while. Where did he ask for 30K? I mean, he asked for the entirety of the money we had made that he believed was his, which is 50-50. That's not even counting in the fact that I do literally all of the work on the channel. I mean, he shows up, which I appreciate. Or appreciated. Past tense, I suppose. However,
he will continue to have his moments due to other shit getting on his nerves and taking out other folk. It's that said, when it's someone you got to bring in a go-between to officiate basic bitch talks, probably not the best sign.
Yeah.
Anyway, any other matters on the matter?
I don't know what else. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Guys, here's the fucking evidence. This is me giving him the channel in December. He chose not to monetize it, essentially. When he said that he wanted all of the money, I said he could sell the channel if he wanted. What else was I supposed to do?
If I recall correctly, just giving him the income going forward was his idea.
Well, I didn't know what else to do. He wasn't here half the time. It was an issue. It was an issue that Spoon was not here half the time. Or he would fall asleep, or he'd play Tetris. So, I mean, from my perspective, too, I'm the one... We did not start this to make any money. Look, it's nice.
It's meant to just be a cross-promotional thing and a little bit of a slush fund for travel.
We started just doing it because we were two friends who wanted to hang out and talk about politics.
When everyone at the very start said, the money's not important, we don't want the money. Just...
He asked people to DM him on Twitter for evidence, did he, Flannel? Well, here's the fucking evidence. I gave him the channel. No, I couldn't give him $30,000, which is not what he would have been owed even in the maximum anyway. What he got paid over the course of it was something like $4,000. Because anytime you would ask me for money, I paid him. We never came up with any kind of actual split to be paid on a regular basis.
There's nothing on hard paperwork anyway.
So when he asked me to pay him, I paid him. And then until I could have spoken to him for the past 12 days, I've gone radio silent with him. Lamented, it's because he just screams at me. What am I supposed to do? That's why I had Scrump talking to him to serve as a mediator. And poor Scrump, he's doing his stream right now, so this is, that's why he did it. He did it because he knew Scrump was busy and he knew I would start the stream. Now, I don't know what else to say other than the fact that he set this up to specifically go on before the fucking stream. Right at the same time, so then I'd have to deal with it on air. What a cunt.
It would be brought up in both streams and both parties would have to give information out so that he could probably put them side by side for small differences on a stream somewhere out of context and fuck over both parties.
I'm supposed to give Spoon all of the money after Queen and Corpo have taken half of it. Apparently, yes. That all of the money was Spoon's for occasionally showing up and being present. I did him wrong and now I play victim. If you guys, this is another thing. Spoon has been holding this over my head as a sword of Damocles for months. You can see it right here, threatening to do exactly what he has done today.
Again, the entire channel was his to do with what he
I gave it to him back in December. He could have sold it if he wanted to. He could have paid all the money from it until he reached what he believed was parity, which I would have let him do in perpetuity. And that's why I even say in these screenshots, take however long you think whenever you feel that you have been made whole from whatever this is. I gave you the channel. Look right here. What do you want me to do? I gave you the channel. You can't fix it. I'll do whatever I can. I have tried, guys. I fucking tried. So, I don't know.
Lord knows we all have.
Okay, sorry. I would like to talk about politics because this really, like, this, okay, I wasn't expecting to get bombed today, but I don't know. I don't know. I would rather talk about politics for the time being.
Shall we?
Because this is really,
Shall we get on
and
to the news,
poor
then?
NewsFest, yes, poor NewsFest, by the way, welcome. This is the most awkward thing.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's the fucking internet, man. NewsFist, do you want to talk a little bit about your channel and introduce yourself? God, what a dick to do this to you now. Sorry, I'm sorry. I feel like such an asshole. Go ahead.
It's fine.
Sorry.
So I do a twice weekly news show called Happening TV. We do like news and memes and funny videos and stuff like that. Monday and Thursday at 8 p.m. London time. And I'm also on with Yiz the Eunuch on Thursday nights over on her channel. We do Empire of Lies and Gulag Cafe, which is either a sort of essay-driven political theory stream or a bunch of, shit posting about people like James Lindsay. It all depends on, like, how busy my week has been, basically. You can find all of my links at www.newsfist.net. Buy it now. It's free. Apparently, you can also find me on YouTube now. I was being very heavily suppressed by YouTube. I can't possibly think why, right? I mean, I went to, like, Susan. I gave her, like, a little foot massage and stuff. She assured me, right, that even when she was replaced at YouTube, right, I would still, get prominent rankings in the algorithm. She lied to me. I can't believe it. I feel so betrayed. Yeah, so check it out if that sounds like the kind of stuff you'd be into.
Join us on the Ouija board whilst we lodge his complaint with Susan on air.
Yeah. And
a Luigi board.
Yes,
hey,
a Luigi board.
That's a spicy channeling. Hey.
Oh my god, that is pretty funny.
It works like upgrading tables in Minecraft mods. You just put the GAT on the Ouija board and upgrades to the Luigi variant.
Actually, I hear basically if you play the new version of Super Mario Kart, right, and you move the joystick in a certain way, right, it'll contact Italians from the beyond, who will then make you an offer you cannot refuse. Huh? Apparently, they're quite insistent from beyond the grave.
Oh my god.
Luigi has a rare variant ability, which is when he gets a green shell, then he gets 8 rounds of fucking 45.
Yeah, exactly. So don't mess with Luigi.
Oh, you and I have also met in real life, so it's actually like gotten to hang out and stuff in person at the Wittan, so that was fun. See,
that was fun.
I'm surprised you haven't been on the show before. I thought you had. Oh well, yeah. What a great way to start out. Like,
Truly.
Bombs are dropping all over the place, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, I've been busy, and then you were on Discord and Dragons on Monday, and I was like, oh,
yeah.
I really, because it was always my aspiration to be on your show, just to get myself out there, be a streamer about town, be known in all the internet boroughs, as it were.
Open the door to a burning room.
That's right. Exactly. As opposed to being in London, which is basically a massive burning room. So I mean, honestly, right? Is there any difference? Slightly fewer Muslims here, I guess. Perhaps.
And I first met you on Yiz's show as well on Discord and Dragons. So yeah, that's also all comes full circle there as well. And actually, that's how I met Spoon as well. And because Yiz wanted him to be her co-host actually. So
circle of life. It's beautiful in its own way.
Well, he's probably about to get Wednesdays to be free for him, so you never know.
Well, I know he's free to do where he wants. Look, I would love to be able to come to some amicable here, but I mean that's a real scumbag move to drop it right before he knows I'm about to go live. Oh well.
Especially when he recalls how bloody frenetic things are right beforehand.
So especially when I'm being told by Scrump that everything is cool, because that's what he's telling Scrump. So he was lying to Scrump. But whatever. Oh well.
Regional tiffs aside.
Yeah. Here, I had something funny to start with, too. Officials forced to share bald J.D. Vance meme by denying tourists claim he was denied entry over photo. So... Oh my god, this whole story has been hilarious. Customs and Border has confirmed that no agents did not stop a Norwegian traveler who showed them a meme of bald J.D. Vance. Fact check false, CBP wrote on X. Mads Mikkelsen, really? Was not denied for entry for any memes or political reasons. It was for his admitted drug use. No, the agency is not referring to a Danish actor, Mads Mikkelsen, but rather the similarly named 21-year-old who was denied entry at the Newark Liberty Airport on June 11th. The story circulated online, first in a Norwegian newspaper, Nordlys, whatever. Anyway, so he claimed that he had been arrested for having this. Also, like, that's one of those stories where it's like, how would that have happened? How could it have possibly have happened?
I think they're trying to discourage the Europeans from fleeing to the US. Because, I mean, I was there recently, and my God, obviously there are hellholes, as there are in any country, but my God, it's nice over there. And I think the Eurocucks are quite worried that a bunch of people might start fleeing the second world to the first world. And so they're like, don't go to America, bro. Don't leave us with the diversity, right? Like, we brought in all of this diversity. We did it for you. Right, and you're gonna leave. Like, what was that? The Kill the Boer guy. No, the Stalin guy from South Africa. When the Afrikaners like left, and they're like, how dare they leave before they've been like, what was the word that he used? It was like rejustified, or like, how dare you leave before the genocide is complete?
Yeah. My question was more generally like, from this guy's weird story, how would this have played out? Like, he just gets stopped at border control and they go, show us your phone, let us see your memes.
Meme checkpoint.
Yeah, did he... apparently that was his story, is that it was an IRL meme checkpoint. Thank you, Artemis Fowl. Thank you for the 20. Here's some money. Business on the contractor side is booming right now. Thank you, man. It's really stressful. But at least we can laugh at bald, fat baby J.D. Vance. Just of course he wasn't stopped for this, but like,
mate, have you got the screen share up?
Do I not? Oh, what the heck? Oh, my bad. That would have been better if you guys could have seen the fucking meme. There we go. It should work there in a second. Hey, okay.
There we go.
Sorry.
It's very uncanny.
Yeah, it is. It is a horrifyingly uncanny.
It's worse when it's just the eyes. Scroll up a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, it's doing that thing where it shows at every screen, not just that one.
Oh no, is it?
Okay, yeah, it's flipped back to the other one now.
Oh, hang on. Oh, I hate when it does this. It's just an annoying.
No, it's working fine. I've got YouTube stream open in another window. It's
it's fine on it's fine on YouTube. It's for the Discord stuff. 1 second. There we go.
Now I'm just watching it in another window. I'll watch stream. No, right. Is that?
We're all good now.
Yeah. God, it is a very cursed image.
Okay, so Israel, Iran, Trump situation, of course, has. Oh no, is the New York Times article going to be fucked? Yeah, it is. It was just a timeline anyway. Actually, it'll probably work if I do this. No. Oh well, dude, it literally worked earlier today. And now, yeah, I'm just, everything is fucked. I'm having a horrible fucking time. I think we know generally speaking, the timeline of events, though, anyway. So bombs were traded back and forth a little bit, but...
We're surprisingly even footing in that regard.
Yeah, and it did look...
Considering one salvage...
Aiden, are you telling me you don't know how to use archive.is? Archive.is works on New York Times, doesn't it?
If it's been archived.
No, you can archive it yourself. If it hasn't been archived, you just have to do the game.
Yeah, but I don't have the paid for thing
that belong to this motorcycle and do it like 5 times until it like lets you in. Archive.is is awesome. I use that shit all the time. Sorry. Like,
well, I mean, I use it too, but I mean, normally it has to have already been archived. Here, I'll just find.
Look behind the curtain, folks.
I mean, I know I could have archived it myself, but I can't because I'm not behind the paywall, right?
It should
It's fine. Okay, so here we go. Sometimes it takes a really long time. I didn't want to do that. Discord link's not working. I'm gonna leave it that way, guys, for the time being, because I gotta figure out what to do about this stuff. Anywho, at Saturday at 12 a.m. Eastern Time, B-2 stealth bombers took off from Whitman Air Force Base in Missouri. One or more of them headed over the Pacific Ocean as a decoy to distract from 7 bombers headed east toward Iran. Dozens of tankers provided mid-air refueling for the bombers at multiple points across the Atlantic Ocean. 5 p.m., after 17 hours of flying, blah, blah, blah. Controlled by U.S. Central Command, responsible for military, linked up with fighter aircraft, escorted the bombers to Iran. Around the same time, U.S. Navy submarine in the region launched more than a dozen Tomahawk cruise missiles at a nuclear site in Isfahan. U.S. warplanes enter Iranian airspace about an hour later. The U.S. struck nuclear sites at Fordo and Natanz. I've heard people pronounce that different ways. Natanz.
Natanz.
I've heard Natanz.
Natanz is the accepted pronunciation,
Yes,
I believe.
I was pretty sure it was, but not hundo. Submarine-launched cruise missiles struck Isfahan, approximately 75%. Well, this is now being called into question as well, about the accuracy and efficiency of the missiles. But, let's see, 7:30, American bombers left Iranian airspace, began their flight back to the U.S. Trump announced on social media that U.S. forces had attacked Fordo, and Natanz, and Isfahan, blah, blah, blah. That's the initial stuff that happened on Saturday into Sunday.
Which had most of us going, oh shit, here we go.
This is how, the week started, or the end of the last week and the beginning of this week started was, oh shit. And I was convinced that we were going to war, for Israel. And everyone's going to fight and die for Israel.
All I can say is, thank God that President Trump took that executive action. We cannot wait for the smoking gun to be revealed to us in the form of a mushroom cloud. I'm just getting like such incredibly hardcore Iraq War vibes from like this week. I mean, it didn't kick off that way, but it was really funny watching everyone else, right, say to all the Gen Xers who like literally grew up like watching the Iraq War kick off, right, and all the people who lived through the Iraq War are like, this is a really bad idea. It's going to blow up in our face, right? And they're like, nah, why would you think that? Like, what's the problem? You some kind of like panicking, and everyone's just like, what the. I'm glad it didn't happen, right? But I think it was perfectly reasonable for people to be like, this could go very, very wrong and blow up in everybody's faces.
Yeah. I mean, I just assumed that Trump was going to back our greatest ally, without question. But I mean, really, everyone seemed to be of that opinion. I mean,
everyone was looking over to respectable bipartisan Holden Blood Feast.
Yeah, by Holden, yes.
Advice in this trying time.
And Bill wasn't there for the stream. We didn't know that Holden Blood Feast came up in that. I mean, Holden Blood Feast is a caricature of the 150-year-old Neocon Warhawk, yes.
Yes, I'd like to thank my good friend and a member of my Masonic Lodge, Holden Blood Feast, representative from Iowa, a respectable bipartisan. He has but one wish before he dies, which is to nuke Iran, and I wish that his wish will be fulfilled. Every day I pray for Holden.
Applied virtue.
Sorry, I just got to break out my
so
W Bush accent.
It's so on point.
W. There's been a lot of good Trump impressions, but people have been slacking on the W.
People forget about the W. Well, in these trying times, it's important to remember famous Neocon Warhawk. Both of the Bushes.
I know. Let's face it, Jeb was the only likable one, only because he was useless.
He can still win. I believe in Jeb any day now. 2 more weeks.
Better odds than Kamala does.
Right.
have you got the Holden Blood Feast meme?
Oh, we do it. I
feel. Hang on. I'll dig
another picture of it. But yeah, if you.
I've usually.
I feel like everyone needs to see it to get a full.
I've seen some variations on it too.
Visual
of the awesome power of
Demon Prince, Holden Blood Feast.
Demon Prince.
Let me see if I can dig it. It's gonna sorry, I'm going to give you a second. I'm going to dig through a lot of really autistic
even
memes.
Holden Blood Feast, it'll show up.
If you just search Holden Blood Feast on Twitter, it comes up.
Yeah, but I want to find the Demon Prince version.
There he is. Holden Blood Feast, R, Iowa, 118 years old. Please, God, just let us nuke Iran. Nothing else matters. I'll do anything, please. I just want to see burning flesh one last time before I die. Respectable bipartisan, of course.
It's part of a wider set of extraordinarily accurate yet cursed, primary candidates.
I mean, the only thing that's sort of really left out of the Holden Blood Feast meme is, sort of before Christian Zionism was in the public consciousness, right? Which is that the reason, of course, he wants Iran to be nuked before he dies is because he wants the Messiah to come back, right? So that he can live to see the
Yes.
you know, whatever crazy, you know, ... prophet, you know. I find Christian Zionism like really, really funny
It's
because
so bizarre. I'm going to look at some of it.
it's so attached to Judaism, right?
Yes.
And the Jews believe that they're going to rebuild the third temple, right? And everyone will convert to Judaism. And the Christian Zionists believe, right, that they'll build the third temple and everyone will convert to Christianity. And I'm like, I feel like, you know, there's there's going to be a bit of like, right, like you can just imagine, right, like they're standing in front of the rebuilt third temple. They're like, good job, guys. We've rebuilt the third temple now. Okay, Jews, time for you to convert to Christianity. And the Jews are like, it's time for you to convert to Judaism. I just don't see that, you know, working out peacefully, man.
I mean, also, there's one Spanish Christian background. Wait a minute.
What's also...
We have a way we can
yeah.
bring things around.
It's also just very bizarre because it's usually very loathsome for Christians, I've found. They very much denigrate themselves because they're, you know, they're not God's chosen children. And I find that to be it's a very particular brand of Christianity. I would, you know, the meme of Christ cocks and whatever. However, that is being Christ cocked in terms of believing in this ridiculous political modern shit.
I think it actually doesn't
has
go
some
far enough.
relation to some
one,
messianic prophecy.
like it's a loathsome thing to sit in a chair and watch someone play your wife. It's quite another thing to sit in a chair and watch someone literally destroy the fucking world.
Yeah.
So that
or destroy your religion. You know, it's actually a really fascinating story, right? Like it goes like all the way back to the 1600s and like the Reformation. It's incredible. Like shout out to Stone Choir podcast. If anyone like listens to that, they did a great episode on like where it all like came from, like going from the 1600s. It's an amazing story. Like, but yeah, basically, right? Like Christians should not be taking religious cues from Jews to define Christianity, basically.
Well, yeah,
also, they probably
ridiculous.
shouldn't be acting as shabos to a warmongering apartheid state.
Yeah.
Now, I'm usually for warlike behaviour and apartheid, but here we are, having me have to argue against these core tenets that I think are cool.
We really need that clip from Murdoch, where like, you know, the Donald this.
Yeah,
like, our greatest ally.
Our greatest ally.
Democrats are
God's
the real
children.
racists.
His
They aren't, you idiot. We are.
Squeak.
No, goddammit, we are.
Yeah, right. The Democrats are the real racists.
Murdoch, no hard R. That's our word.
That's our word.
Still the only reason to watch that.
So, wait, how do you
The
say
black
racist without the hard R? Like,
No,
No, the other
wait,
word.
wait.
saying
all my acists in the house, you know.
Oh my god. So that's
my favorite thing about the
state of
Holden
things.
Blood Feast Ascended version is that he still has like the oxygen tank and the little tie,
Yeah.
and like the clearly like partially paralyzed like torso, but his suit has just become a moo.
It's actually interesting. It was next on the docket part of it, which is talking about the Christ cuckery. So this is the Western Journal. I use the Western Journal a lot as a news aggregator, but as I have mentioned about them, they are like ultra Christ cuck Zionists. So
It's called what they are. They're shabos.
yes, they're good Shabbos.
Any more out there?
Is this a Baptist publication, or is this like Shabbos Weekly, or
It's
like what?
Look, they're very much Israel is our greatest ally. They are a very good news aggregator, but that's also their political leaning, I'd say. So I mean I use this instead of what did I used to use? I can't remember now. Oh, Gateway Pundit but Gateway Pundit's just as bad, or nearly as bad. But this is commentary from the Western Journal, which they are funny to look at when it comes to anything involving Israel.
So I'm totally locked in for this, Aiden.
They
Go on,
posted
go on.
an article about here's what could be next in Bible's prophetic timeline following announced peace deal between Israel and Iran, because they believe in this shit too, apparently. This could be some very interesting end times Bible prophecy implications if the peace deal holds, which we'll get into.
Okay.
But there's currently a peace deal in place.
I really should stress that maybe the people who are trying to end the world in hellfire are the bad guys.
Can I just point out, right, the very idea that humans can influence the outcome of prophecy is a fundamentally Jewish idea. It is not a
Yes.
Christian idea, right?
No, it's-
The Christian idea is no man knows the day or the hour. Keep your eyes peeled, but nothing you do is going to make like Jesus come any sooner or any later. It's like out of your hands. This whole idea that you have to work to fulfill the prophecy. That's Judaism. That's not Christianity at all.
What's that? The nation slash race slash religion that believes you can, beat a chicken to death and it counts as absolving your sins. Who have been gamifying, like treating their holy book like a goddamn achievement guide walkthrough.
Well, yeah, it's
rather than
you don't know what that chicken did, right? I have it on good authority. All of those chickens, right, sent some anti-Semitic tweets. They got what was coming to them.
It's the same meme I used in the thumbnail of the so it was what was the meme? How did it originally go, Bill? I was something to my friend the other day. The other person just spouts some like insane internet gibberish. But it was the same thing, but it was like, God says, okay, remember not to carry anything heavy on the Shabbos. And it's like, so I should tie anything heavy outside on the Shabbos. And it's like, oh, so I should tie a string around the block so that everything outside is now inside. And God's just like, what? Yeah, it's that kind of
pretending
shit.
That any of them were doing any heavy labor on the Sabbath anyway. Like,
they are good at their God hacks. Right,
yes. Well, they think they're better than they actually are, because this has
tired of reaching for the remote? Use the demons of Selzar to bring it.
I would say this week it's been another show up. Like in terms of the last couple days, not very happy. Not very happy, I'm sure. But
I feel like holding Bloodfeast right now. I feel like we're just skirting around a big button that says "Turn Bill loose." On a given topic, and then people keep poking the button but not activating. Just let me say the gamer word.
Oh yeah, come on. Like they're not. Look, the Israelis are not going to give up trying to overthrow the Iranian government, right? Like there is just no goddamn way, right? I think this is one of Trump's like significant blind spots. I mean, maybe not. Maybe he's more based, on the inside, right? But unless you view the Middle East, right, as a series of ethnic and religious wars, right, that are not actually about territory fundamentally or about resources, none of it makes any real sense, right? The West, they're so used, because when was the last time the West had like a really long, drawn out religious war, like what, 1600, like the 30 Years War or something like that? Maybe you could
argue the Troubles, but that's mainly just Irish people looking for an excuse to kill Scotch Irish people.
That was more of an insurgency rather, it's not like the 30 Years War where you had like literal, famine and plague. So the people in the West, they tend to think of war like sort of exclusively through the lens of like money or resources or land, you know what I mean, right? Not just this idea of a sort of fundamental burning religious hatred that cannot be quenched by literally anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think we've had a really big brawl since Gustav Adolphus.
Yeah.
Since it's like him decided, you know what, fuck it, hold my beer, I'm just gonna twat everyone in mainland Europe to death.
Yeah.
And then my whore of a daughter will give it away to the Spanish for no reason.
Writing over 2,500 years ago, the prophet foresaw, under divine inspiration, he said that Israel would be dwelling securely in its land, in other words, at peace, such has not been the history of the modern state of Israel since its founding in 1948. Ezekiel wrote that in the latter years, a coalition of nations will descend upon Israel to try and wipe it out. Persia, which is modern-day Iran, is listed by name among them, along with other territories and peoples believed by Bible scholars to include modern-day Russia and Turkey. Wowee! It's just it's all coming together.
Busy time, bros.
For real this time. Lending credibility to what Ezekiel predicted about the war between these nations in chapter 38 and 39 is what he wrote in chapter 36. He saw a time when the Jews would spread throughout the nations of the earth, which certainly happened starting on the 1st century AD. Their exile would last until the latter days when they would return to Israel and be a nation again. Todd Hampson, host of the Prophecy Pros podcast, told CBN in 2023 that Israel...
You can't have it be the acronym. PPP should sue.
I know. That Israel's rebirth in 1948 was a super sign of the end times. Now the nations listed in Ezekiel 38 are aligning against Israel in the Magog coalition. They They are all present and accounted for in Gog and Magog. It's unfolding right before our very eyes. Jimmy Evans, author of several books about Bible prophecy and founder of endtimes.com, told CBN.
He sounds like a reliable source, mate.
He does.
Endtimes.com. I mean, that's where you go.
I'm sorry, even Warhammer fans think the term End Times is a filthy fucking association. Why would you name your entire fucking brand around it?
I mean, look, it cannot be underestimated, right? Like how deep sort of this runs in the American veins. You know what I mean, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
I would argue that it's actually one of sort of the principal motivating handles, along with sort of military, not exactly military nostalgia, but you know, that sort of military worship and that whole kind of like weird sort of sentimentalism, which is one of the reasons why I really love the Americans, but at the same time it is used to manipulate them like just so fiercely, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. It is bizarrely, however, it seems bizarrely baked into the American mindset of this. I don't think that was always the case, of course. I believe that has been a post facto rationalization that has to deal with, I know a lot of it is the Protestantism stuff. That seems to have an effect on it, clearly. But maybe it's post facto justification for what happened at the end of World War II.
Maybe I think it's more dispensationalism. Dispensationalism.
Probably, yes.
I'm
Go
of the firm belief that the reason that Israel is lauded is because it is to the boomers' mindset, it is a bastion of Western culture in a sea of the Middle East, and fucking like these people that, let's face it, the boomers kind of treat like a bunch of kind of would-be slaves running around the desert, fucking random animals, whatever it is they do. It's hearing back to the stuff that used to get talked about in the early League of Nations era, where people were... I can't repeat the terms that were used by the American ambassador to the League of Nations to describe reserving their right to bomb people of a different colour, for instance. They used much coarser language than I'm prepared to do on this podcast. But now we've got a good excuse to have a nation that sits there in the middle of the Middle East, and it is just Western, as far as they're concerned. They don't have to look too closely at it. That way they don't figure out it's an abhorrent apartheid state that gets at some really shady shit.
Well, as is typically the case, yes.
So we gave them back their homeland. We've made all things right in the world. Look at this great bastion of our power in the Middle East. We westernized the Middle East. We can break nations over our leg and reshape them as we see fit.
Well, and it has been essentially a major cause, if not the cause, for all of the wars in the Middle East that the United States has been involved in for the last 40 years, 45 years, etc.
Yeah.
I mean, a constant state of war in the Middle East because of America's inexorable tie to Israel, our greatest ally.
And then whenever Israel gets brought up as a major impetus, people bandy, like in the Iraq War era, they were bandying around the idea that the soldiers were being referred to as crusaders. So to try and circumvent the Jews getting any blame, instead of taking blame back to the fucking crusader states.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I'm saying, if we're going to get tarred with the brush, you might as well wear the feathers.
It will throw prophetic pieces into place. We just have to see exactly where it will land, he said. Evans also stated he believes it could mark another step towards the Gog and Magog battle. What's next in the timeline is likely a season of peace with an expansion of the Abraham Accords begun during Trump's first term, Evans said. He further explained last week, saying, quote, again, this guy who runs endtimes.com, I believe that what we're about to see is not only the defeat of Israel's enemies, I believe we're about to see the beginning again of the Abraham Accords and peace between Israel and many of their Arab neighbors. That's going to be a golden era for the Middle East in many ways. So does it sound like the end times to me? I don't know.
Well, this is the thing. It's going to be a golden age until war breaks out again for no reason whatsoever, right? Like how can you make like any kind of durable peace if your entire religious philosophy is essentially based on the idea that sooner or later you're going to have to destroy like every single country around you? It's so weird.
And you believe that your ancestors and your loved ones who have died are all rotting in Sheol until
Yeah, right.
they are trying.
Until this comes
in their
about.
mind, they are trying to spare their loved ones and other faithful from the pain of being in Sheol, removed from God, by spurring on the apocalypse sooner.
I mean, that's clearly not the entire belief. I mean, the Chabad guys believe in reincarnation. I mean, I don't know whether it's all of them or whether there's some. I read this crazy fact. Apparently, the Chabad guys believe that Netanyahu is in fact the reincarnation of the prophet Daniel, or something like that, right? And that Trump is basically sort of their chosen goy to like lead them into the third age, or
Right.
So I mean, if they believe in reincarnation, then they can't believe in like a permanent Sheol. I mean, maybe they maybe Sheol is like a timeshare, you know what I mean, or something, right? Or like I don't know. I really should
Kind of
look
a
into that.
holding lobby before you go out
Yeah.
into the world to have another spin at things.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when logging onto World of Warcraft, right? And there's like you get stuck in the lobby waiting for a connection.
Yeah.
a bunch of juice in a bus. Where we dropping, boys?
Well, World of Goycraft, you know what I mean?
I think it's still Warcraft at that point.
Yeah, right. This is something I believe you see in Ezekiel 38, where this invasion happens. Israel is going to, when this invasion happens, Israel is going to be at peace. Israel has to have a time of peace before the Gog and... Oh, okay, that's his explanation. It's not really the end times, because they've never been at peace.
Right before the war, there's some peace. Also, by the way, not smooth move naming your fucking defense system the Iron Dome to try and spur on the whole, because there's an iron wall that's involved in the Gog Magog story, at least in, I believe in one versions of it. And here's the issue, is that it doesn't fucking work properly.
Tell me about the Iron Wall. I've never heard this.
Yeah, I've heard about this as well, but I don't know anything about it in particular.
I think it's the Iron Wall is actually in Islamic tradition primarily.
Oh, okay.
It's in the Hadith. It's basically it's just an enormous, like, I think it's brought by God, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that would be like we got an iron dome that's better than your iron wall. Clearly,
I think it's fucking bullshit. So all I know about most of what I know about the Semitic religions is stuff I've learned against my will. Was trying to learn about trench crusade so I can continue to tear them apart on Twitter.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So keep going, Aiden.
Well, this guy's this is insane, right? In this new geopolitical landscape, Iran, Russia, Turkey, and other coalition nations will be emboldened to invade Israel, but God will intervene, according to the Bible, causing a massive earthquake, pestilence, torrential rains, and flooding, hailstones, and fire to decimate the enemy forces. David Herzog, author of Glory and the End Times, offered a similar assessment to Evans last week at a meeting in the Phoenix area regarding Israel entering a season of peace. He suggested that Iran may even now have a new government for a period of time following the end of the current conflict. Oh, you think so? Is it 2 more weeks? Is it 2 more weeks?
They might just have a new government for no reason whatsoever. It's not down because
It's not like we have
right?
It's not like we have a prince who was kicked out of Iran, whose daughter is married to a very rich Israeli businessman.
That's just a coincidence. Yeah. No, they're clearly lining Pahlavi up to, I mean, I remember like when this kicked off, I was saying that the fact that they did not get Khomeini is a big L, right? Like if their decapitation had been perfect, right, and they got all the head of the IGRC and the heads of the Basij, and they got like Khomeini and his family, then it would have been a lot easier. Although I keep hearing from Iranians saying that the fact that he's related to the Shah, right, like no one wants him. To which I generally reply, well, obviously no one wants a puppet leader. That doesn't stop them from being installed. You know what I'm saying?
Also, all this shit went down in the 60s with the exact same shit. Ayatollah's not been an actual fucking governing power since the mid-aughts.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It was Mossad who was democratically elected, right? No one elected the Shah.
And even then, back in under Ahmadinejad, like even then they were completely toothless, and it was pretty much down to who was in charge of the military to depict what actually goes on. Like, it's just Iran's basically been limping along, barely existing since the mid-aughts. Probably a bit earlier, in fact. It's probably since Iran-Contra has been in fucking like life support. It's the Middle East, Greece.
Yeah. Here, this
Oh,
is
what
a-
has Paula White got to say?
thi-
I'm
yeah.
Paula White.
Yes. Scrub sent posted this in our group chat, but because it's just, I mean, this is it embodied, right? I mean, the last article was pretty bad, but Paula White Ministries and Pastor Paula White Kane have a long, I mean, there's a name for you, have a long successful history of supporting Israel and God's chosen people. Every believer in Lord Jesus Christ should place high value in the Jewish people because God has. In the Bible, in Genesis 12:3, the Lord reminds us of the covenant he made with Abraham when he said, I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse him who curses you, and in all the families of the earth shall be blessed. This relates not only to the Jewish people, but to the nation of Israel. And in this pivotal moment in human history, we are called to stand with Israel. This isn't about politics, it's about living in harmony with the Word of God. As senior advisor to President Trump of Faith and Opportunity Initiative, Pastor Paula worked closely with faith leaders and the Trump administration in helping move the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem. The bringing together of the three Abrahamic religions to promote interfaith and intercultural dialogue with the signing of the Abrahamic Accords by 2020. Representatives from Bahrain, anti-Semitism. On a personal level for the Jewish people, along with Pastor Paula's recent humanitarian assistance to the Mossad. Was that it? Was that really all this was? It was just the beginning? We're just going, yeah, okay. No, here's the end, yeah.
Okay, so she's really big on biblical scripture and such.
Yeah.
But she seems to have glossed over the fact she's a female pastor, which is specifically
Yes,
forbidden.
yes. But that one's okay. Again, gotta just bend the rules a little bit when God's not looking.
I do not permit a woman to teach or to have authority over a man. She must be silent. That's from 1 Timothy 2:11 to 12.
You know what they say, right? There's parts of the Bible I like, and there's parts of the Bible I don't like.
Right.
Hey, I really like eating shrimp. Therefore, I'm going to just scratch through all of fucking. What's the one that's full of fucking? Most of it is just stuff like don't eat pork in the desert.
Oh,
But,
you mean Deuteronomy, don't you?
Yeah, Deuteronomy.
Yeah.
I always blank on the name because my brain tries to put an E at the front of it for some reason. That's,
So this is essentially the JD Vance. You saw the interview with JD Vance and Tucker.
Yes,
didn't you
yes.
guys?
Yeah.
Boy, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's just it. There's so many reasons for us to stand with Israel, biblically, culturally, and morally. Jesus was a Jew! Exclamation point. Remember, until the gospel spread, the Christian church was almost entirely Jewish. Israel is our spiritual legacy, yours and mine. Thank you, Pastor Paula. But this is,
excuse me, heresy detected.
Yeah.
I can, if you know, I've got to say, this isn't a complete aside, but, you know, the Czech Republic has been going from strength to strength lately. They're on completely green energy. Because what they've done is they've rigged Jan Hus's corpse up to a dynamo. And now so much fucking power is pouring out of what was once the Czech Republic that we could probably, you know, just start going into directional energy weapons because that shit ain't running out anytime fucking soon.
Mate, Bohemia could become its own energy microstate. Like,
It will be the Wakanda of Croatians. It will rise up out of the soil on great gravitational pull and
the Hussite Wakanda
and take revenge on Serbia. Friend of the show, Richard Serbian, God bless him.
The guy who wrote The Witcher,
yes.
Sapkowski, whatever he wrote this incredible book. I forget the name. It's all about the Hussite rebellion.
Yes.
Oh God, that's such a good read. Would highly recommend to anyone.
He is actually a good writer.
Yeah, he's really good. Yeah, I know. So basically, everything I know about the Hussite rebellion, I got from that series.
Yes, Tower Falls, Warriors of God, and the Light Perpetual.
Yeah, freaking awesome. Totally.
And that's also the thing that Sapkowski is so salty about because no one ever talks about them. He's ultra fucking mad about it. I mean, it is. I don't blame the man for being angry. It's like, oh, my fucking pulps are the popular one. I want to just write about a bunch of Bohemians fucking up the Catholic Church.
So
the crazy thing that like I realized after reading that was that every single thing about Christianity and the different branches of it, right, has basically been like forged in blood, right?
Yeah.
So like every line of like the Orthodox or Catholic creed, everything about like how communion is given, right, the specific way it's given, the words, like all of this stuff has basically been like fought over and bled over. Like it's crazy, right? People just like, you know, oh, I go to church, they just like made this stuff up. No, they didn't. People fought and died for those
horrible
words.
ways.
Seriously, you know.
the fact that there have been multiple defenestrations of Prague over religious matters.
Yep.
They had to. There are multiple incidences of people being flung out of windows in the city of Prague specifically. There's been like 5 of them, if I recall correctly.
I
There's
feel
at
like
least
we could
3.
use a bit of Prague energy right now.
A
You
little
know,
defenestration goes
Fuck
a
that!
long
I can't
way.
afford double glazing in today's market. I'm already on the bone of my ass as it is.
bit of defenestration, right? Like wouldn't go amiss, right? You know, send a strong message to the political class. Is what I'm saying. You know?
That'll be a power move. Trump, throw Netanyahu out the top of Trump Tower. He'll have like 3 minutes to think about the things he's done wrong on the way down.
Yeah.
You don't want to do any defenestration posting, you know.
Right. So apparently, I guess we didn't ask.
Defends.
Didn't ask the Christ cons about it. He also forgot to ask this lady before essentially resolving this. It does appear to be at least temporarily resolved, and not in a way it's in Israel's favor, which again was very shocking to me. The turn of events. But,
they called it a white piece for a reason.
right, but no one bothered. Trump didn't bother to ask the most important person involved, Jasmine Crockett.
I go back in on Monday.
Whoops, why is it so? There we go.
You could have hollered at us on Monday.
That was trying to help us, I think.
If you truly felt like there was something like...
Did she say holler or help? Let me one more time.
I go back in on Monday. You could have hollered at us
Hollered.
on Monday.
She did say hollered.
If you truly felt like there was something like... There is nothing that they will say that will make me believe that this action needed to take place. And it needed to take place without the consultation of the Congress. All right. Give me one more.
How can the Senate be involved and make them accountable for what they're doing?
Just reading a fucking script.
I mean,
I know.
listen, y'all was talking
Just the way you should have hollered at me. Why didn't you consult me on this bit of international diplomacy, potential war issue?
about accountability.
Who is Jasmine Crockett at the moment? Is she like
She from where does she represent? It's Chicago or
I think she
some
just
shit.
ran to be like Senate
New York?
leader or something and lost or something. I remember seeing her.
Oh,
also
she's
being...
she is one of those ones where her entire shtick is just pretending to be ghetto as much as possible.
Takes part of Texas Congress.
Yeah. Is she Texas?
broken
Yeah.
down. The systems have broken down because people have legitimately decided that they would rather serve him than serve the people that put them into office. Like, I don't really have any, like, good
What she
answers
means
for
there is
it,
IPAC.
except for the fact
Yeah.
that legitimately everything that he does is, like, against the law. Like, he just breaks the law. And
Sure
I
he does.
know
Like,
that
which
there are some
ones?
people that think that I just say this stuff because
Yeah,
I'm a
you can-
Democrat.
that's
I
why,
have
yeah.
to say, I have my own
And that
issues
vocal
with my
fry
own
should
work.
be against the law.
Oh, I know, it's awful.
Everything he does is like against the law.
Yeah.
It sounds like a
I
fucking
am the
South Park
law.
character.
I'm not saying these things because I'm a Democrat. I'm saying these things
Ooh,
because
represents Houston. Yikes.
I am a black woman
course
in
you do.
America.
Where
You
else?
are? Yeah, there's nowhere else would you act like this.
Educated enough to know what the
Uh-huh.
law is, and
He's
I
not
can
smart.
No, but you
occupied
clearly
character.
don't, because you can't even name what he's done that's against the law.
Some people want to disparage my credibility and
Well,
act as if
they don't need to.
I don't know what
Like,
I'm talking
you do it on
about.
your own.
I can
We are denying its existence entirely.
guarantee to you that if you Google war and authority,
She still uses Google.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, mate, that is the most retarded thing I think I've heard.
That's where she gets the
He
answers.
used Google.
What was I? Somebody came up about this the other day about how I was listening to someone talking about something, and they said something about how Wikipedia is an excellent and unbiased source for information. And I thought it was a joke at first because they said it in a very deadpan voice, and I was like, oh, yeah. And then they continued on with it. And I went, well, I don't think I'm going to listen to anything that this channel has to say. I turned the video off. There's some documentary about.
Shut
something.
up, city woman.
Silly woman.
Constitution, you're gonna see Congress, and this thing that's like on my chest tells you that I am a member of Congress.
Oh my god.
I don't,
Well,
don't
I got
really know.
a chain says I'm a member of Congress. Like, oh my god, of all the things.
Like, and the biggest problem that we face right now is that we have an administration that does not care about making sure that they abide by rules or abide by the law.
Yeah.
Well, I feel dumb of having
Someone's never
listened to
heard
it.
of the theory of the unitary executive.
Wait,
Clearly.
she doesn't have theory of mind, dude. Like,
If she could
Yeah.
pass a mirror
Yeah.
test, I would sit here and eat my fucking shoes.
yeah. So this is about, okay, so then more recently, Iran attacks U.S. base in Qatar, but apparently the U.S. was informed about it beforehand, so that the base knew it was going to happen. So they were told to shelter in place. Those weren't not going to clear
The
indication the
exact
attack
thing
was
they did in
imminent.
Syria in
Yeah.
the first term. Like this seems to be the actual like big brain move, is to just do the same thing twice, because no one would think you'd be dumb enough to do the same thing twice.
I actually think this is an incredibly intelligent move, right? Everyone's like, oh my god, right? Look, Iran, like all the countries in there, they have like a Muslim street, okay, right? And much of sort of the political dynamics of a lot of these countries have to do with the fact that the people ruling those countries and the sort of the Muslim street are very, very different sort of like groups, right? So Iran, they have to respond, right? Okay, they have to say, we did a response. And I think even the language that Iran was like saying was like, we will respond. But at the same time, they don't want to kick off a war with the Americans for obvious reasons. So I don't know. I mean, look, we're gonna fire a missile, but we're gonna like tell them beforehand. So, it's a bit like sort of like one of those duels that they used to have. Honor has been satisfied. Nobody got killed. I don't see why that's not an intelligent position.
Yeah, have a bit of a ceremonial slap fight and call it a day. No,
Yep.
lesser harm done.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's face it, it's not like Trump is really dealing with the brains of the world here. He's dealing with a bunch of backwards goat fucking morons who are so inbred they might as well be a fucking sandwich. Like, these people are not dreadfully bright, but they are crafty.
They are indeed that. They are indeed that.
And let's face it, Iran knows they're kind of stuffed. They've been limping along since the Contras, and they know that if we go to ground and try and do the guerrilla conflict thing, like was done in Afghanistan, we'll find out very swiftly that there are a bunch of rebels who are already there and very not fond of us.
Well, a lot of these rebel groups are paid for and propped up by Israel.
Correction. All of these
Okay,
groups
all
are
of these groups
trained by Israel, but they're funded by the US because
right.
Israel
Well,
doesn't.
well. What's the difference?
Guys, I'm having a premonition,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm having a premonition, right? ISIS, for no reason whatsoever, will suddenly start doing like more attacks across Iran. I don't know how I can like figure this out, right?
No
you know,
way!
right?
How would you possibly prognosticate such a thing?
I'm just my huge throbbing brain, right? Just getting a message straight from Paula
the
White.
future. Yeah, right,
from the-
Paula White. And her god hole, yes.
Okay, here's a cheap shot for the people in the crowd who are not aware. Israel essentially founded both Hamas and ISIS,
Yeah.
which makes it extraordinarily scary. To say they're meant to be fighting Turkey in this big, god tier throwdown.
End of
they
times
sure do.
conflict.
The literal end of the world. That they will be throwing hands with Turkey, the country they sold all their oil to when they were ISIS.
Yeah.
Lest we forget, ISIS.
Remember the time when
Israel.
when ISIS accidentally attacked an Israeli position, and they were like, "Oh, we're really, really sorry."
Actually put
Yeah.
out a formal apology.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they would do, right? Yeah.
If you believe that, I've got a USS Liberty to tell you.
Yeah, there you go.
Or Tibbets. This is the next one on the block, I believe.
Slightly used and abused U.S. Liberty, 1 million shekels or nearest offer.
Several thousand rounds of heavy ordnance may have caused it to be somewhat of a fixer-upper. Sold as shown.
Yeah, yeah.
Sold as shown. Same old
Something
shit.
about this, by the way, like that kind of went under the radar as all the fucking missiles were flying, is that there was a brief attempt to impeach Trump again during this.
Wow, really?
Yes.
Well, I totally missed this. Damn.
I know. 120 Democrats forced to side with Republicans on key Trump issue, aka not impeaching him. A majority of the Democrat House members voted against a resolution calling for Trump's impeachment, proving there's at least some sanity amongst the ranks. No, I think they're just too busy. Like, it was like, right now? Right now. Really?
Yeah, You can't expect them to sign the documentation. After all, they were coming so hard the fucking glasses fell
Yeah.
off. They can't write shit.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that's what this was all about? It's like, I'll time this perfectly to parry an impeachment like some impeachment bullshit. We can all save like 2 weeks. Wouldn't put it past them for it.
Took the entire
what
amount
were
from the
they
channel
impeaching
she
over?
gave
Like-
away. Look, this channel does not earn that much money. I did not notice. I just assumed he was taking the money because he said he wanted to take the channel. I gave the channel over to Spoon. That's all I'm gonna say. I already showed the receipts. He's had full access to the channel, including all of the monetary ability since December. He chose not to monetize it, even though he was repeatedly told to how to do it by both myself and by Scrump. Scrump has been trying to talk him down for weeks now about this. And then he's betrayed both my trust and Scrump's trust on this to try and deal with it amicably because he's having a meltdown. So I know people keep trickling in and asking me what the hell's up with that. But I did everything I could. He wanted me to give him huge amounts of money up front. He was not willing to work out any kind of deal for me to do anything with it. So I just gave him the channel, told him he could sell it if he wanted to, told him he could monetize it and keep it for himself. I told him I would work on the channel in perpetuity myself for as long as until he felt he had been made whole. He didn't want to do that. He wanted to do this. So there you go. Just for those, because people keep coming in and asking. I've shown the DMs. He was given the channel in December. Anyway.
So wait, what was this impeachment about? Aiden?
Okay. Yes. Sorry.
Tell us.
Yes. The
stage
final vote was 344 to 79 in favor of tabling the resolution offered by Rep. Al Green, Texas Democrat. Yes, the same Al Green who tried to impeach Trump 3 times during his first term, going back to the Republican leader's first months in office in 2017. He's multiple times tried already during Trump's second term. Is the same Al Green who interrupted the president's address to a joint session of Congress in March and refused to sit down as he continued to yell at the president. Green was censured by the House 2 days later. His latest problem with Trump was the president's decision on Saturday to bomb Iran's nuclear sites. On Tuesday morning, Green rose on the House floor to announce he would be filing a new article of impeachment against the president. And here you go. It's this guy, by the way, if you this goblin man.
Oh, shit.
Mr. Speaker, and still I rise. And I rise today in the name of government of the people, by the people, for the people. I rise today because our country
I hate
is
that they all
nearing
have to
a
talk
moment
like
of
Martin Luther
decision.
King.
I rise because we are at the intersection of democracy and autocracy.
We realize
That's what he
you
was
can
at the
use it.
intersection of Martin Luther King Boulevard.
Right, yeah, well, yes.
Problem is, they figured out that if you use the MLK type of cadence of speech,
Yeah.
you can hide the fact that you have no idea what the fuck you're going to say next.
Well,
and
right,
you
it
can
just,
then, you know,
if you speak like this, it sounds like you know what the fuck you're talking about. Doesn't matter what kind of godforsaken drivel comes out your mouth. Like, it just sounds
And if I
authoritative.
speak like this, people will take me seriously,
Yeah.
even though I have no idea what the hell I am saying. But my donors have given me money, and I have an objective to objectify, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, it's the, and they all do it. So it's clearly, you know, they've learned that this gets them somewhere. It sounds authoritative, I suppose.
To announce that at this moment in time, I have filed HRES 537. HRES 537 is a privileged resolution. HRES 537 has been filed because I believe that the President of the United States
can you bump it up
has
to like
committed-
1.5 times speed?
Oh god, yeah, it is so slow. Look, we get it. He tried to impeach Trump.
Same old shit.
Look, I mean, do you want to keep listening to this guy prattle on?
Aiden, can you turn the volume up on your
I
browser?
can't.
'Cause
Wait a minute.
Whenever you play on Twitter, it's very, very low volume with subtitles.
I don't
All I
think-
really hear is
Oh,
the...
I can do yeah, I know. It's low on my side too. Here, let me see. Can I turn it up any more?
Not missing dreadfully much if it's any help.
Yeah, here, this might work. Okay, let's see.
an impeachable
That's as
act.
far as up it can go, though.
HRES 57 addresses abuse of presidential power
Wait. Here
by
we go.
disregarding the separation of powers, devolving American democracy into an authoritarian. An authoritarian.
God, yeah, he's just gonna look. I think we got it. Do we really need to listen to him? He tried to impeach Trump.
Let's say
128 Democrats voted against him. Like, just I think
even all the Dems went, "Shut the fuck up, you old bitch."
It's like we're
Well, I mean,
potentially right about to go to war, you know?
They have been saying this for a while. You know, like, I mean, this is the whole behind argument of, you know, Trump is a fascist, right? Like he's a authoritarian. I mean, I just like evidence, like hello, like source needed, right? Like, I mean,
hurt his feelings.
Trump said this like great quote, right, where someone asked him if I think it was around the time of the No Kings kind of thing, and he was like, "I don't feel like a king. If I was a king, it wouldn't be so hard to get everything passed."
Right, yeah. I thought about playing that last week. I remember that that clip.
Yeah, it's a banger. It's a banger quote.
Yeah.
Right.
Or maybe it happened in between. It must have happened in between. I think that I came across it, and it just didn't. I was like, oh, that was a good bit, but I forgot to put it in the show. But yeah. I mean, he can't. That we would. I think I'd prefer him to be king if he's going to be ruler of America in any sort of way. I'd prefer he'd be king, I suppose. Maybe. I don't. I'm honestly shocked by the way that these things turned out, because I guess in a way nothing does ever happen. Sort of. Nothing happened after all, but it was not in the way I expected nothing to happen. I figured...
Killdozer made a really good comment. I move to impeach Trump. Speaker, on what charge? On the charge of being the president of the United States.
That pretty much is it. Yeah,
that's basically like what it is.
Yes, yes. He used his powers as the president to act as, commander in chief. Wowee.
The very thing that all the press and all the Democrats are calling him presidential for doing in his first term.
Yes, yes.
Of course, exact same playbook.
AOC had to throw in, the president's disastrous decision to bomb Iran without authorization is a grave violation of the Constitution and congressional war powers. He has impulsively risked launching a war that may ensnare us for generations. It's absolutely and clearly grounds for impeachment. But they bang on about this. It's just like, it's been about, I don't know, 15 minutes since we've tried to impeach Trump. That's all this was. Just
to be fair to Representative Green.
Yes.
I was also quite worried that Trump was about to
get a
massive
we
war in the Middle East.
Oh, right? Absolutely. Like, I give it nothing for that, because it seemed like to the whole world, to everybody. I mean, it was when I see AA be astonished that something has happened or not happened, whichever way it goes. Because even you're listening to his coverage, because he's been talking about it a lot, obviously. Just like, what? This was not the kayfabe I thought it was.
I know it's and especially given that there were Iraq War playbook, right? I was like totally convinced this whole thing was just going to tip over.
Yeah.
Disaster. But look, it's early days yet, right? Like, it's only just happened.
Oh, right? We could always get another good war going.
We've got a couple of years for this to develop, right? We could have like a nice tasty false flag, or some like
right there.
Well, they are. Where are they saying that there's supposed to be one? Was it New York? I think.
New York.
Yeah.
New York. Yeah, they're saying there's going to be a dirty nuke in New York on like November 5th, or this is 4chan schizo. Stuff,
4chan has been sort of correct about some. They have been right about some stuff. They've predicted things. Usually, when they get to on that, like on this day at this time, that shit tends to not be true. I remember like the red deer with COVID. Any day now, any second now, the red deer will reveal itself or whatever.
What is about 4chan, right? Is that they're often right on the thing.
Yes.
But they are wrong about the time frame and
the manifestation. Yes.
Right. So to take red deer as an example for those listening who don't understand, it was the idea that after the vax got rolled out, there would just be mass death. But there is. It's just taking a lot. It's just sort of like being distributed over a much longer time frame.
Well, which anyone serious could have told you would always have been the case. I use 4chan's poll quite regularly, as I think most of us probably even listening
to. Primary news source.
Yeah, it's a really. It is a look. It's full of shilling and bullshit too. But if you just kind of want to get an idea of what happened today, I mean, it's a better place to go than Twitter. I usually cite Twitter links if I have a video to something, but that's because 4chan often links to them too. But yeah, they're usually correct. Their consensus often is correct in terms of the outcome, but not in the time frame and not always in the manner. And yeah, a lot of people are dying from not from long COVID, but from vaccine injury. I mean, the Congress has come out about it now, so I'm allowed to say that.
I was about to say, are you allowed to actually say that?
I mean, there's been an inquiry on it. The Congress has been talking about it openly about how there have been vaccine injuries. So I guess we're allowed to say it. That's the political, it's the Schmittian exception, right? Like we're out of the COVID Schmittian exception, so we're allowed to talk about this shit now.
Yeah. I mean, 4chan is basically a river of piss in which you can find nuggets of gold.
Yes.
Right. So you're gonna like wind up quite stingy. Right. But you may find some incredible.
I do think a lot of it.
It's all about putting the waders on first.
That's right. Exactly.
Yes.
Put on your mind waders. Yeah.
It does seem that just Netanyahu really, and I believe so as well, that he had way more control over Trump than he actually did. As I mean, was this stuff too? U.S. strikes failed to destroy Iran's nuclear sites. Oh, this is not the right one. That's the Iran one.
Right, but look, you know what they say about Trump. Right? Apparently, one of Trump's pet peeves, right, is when he feels like people are pushing him around, or when he feels that other people have the impression that someone else can push him around. Right now, I'm sure that Trump is sort of mostly enclosed at this point, right? So he's surrounded by like sort of, a bubble of advisors who try and make sure that nothing spicy sort of like reaches his ears, right? But at the same time, he's still friends with people like Bannon and Tucker and stuff like that. You recall that story where apparently he had lunch with Bannon the day before the strikes, and a bunch of sort of people from the right were like, listen, don't go to war, right? Like this is it'll decimate your base, right? You will be, damned for eternity. And I think he probably cannot help but notice this impression that he is Netanyahu's bitch. So I think he would probably be trying to like push back against that. Must be tricky being in his position.
Well, yeah, it would be.
Managerial types always despise being looking in a situation like they have been put over a barrel. Because that threatens their managerial position. That threatens their leadership.
Yeah.
By its very nature.
Yeah.
Netanyahu's been getting away with shit like that for years and years. Like every time he goes to the White House, he holds off with his household, which has fucking servants, for a start, from doing any laundry, and he brings dirty laundry to the White House to force the staff there to clean it.
Yeah.
That is a long-held anecdote regarding old Bibi.
No, it is anecdotal, to be fair, and I don't trust any of that White House insider shit. But big if true.
But, like, no one would be the slightest bit surprised if it were.
Yeah.
But it is important I'd facet that with it being, anecdotal. But Bibi's notoriously kind of a gadfly about these things. He's been reveling in his position for years, and the fact that he's in wartime, was in wartime, means he doesn't have to worry about elections. Where have we seen this before? From people with this specific bloodline.
Yeah.
Hey, is my voice volume coming out?
It sounds fine to me. I changed some voice settings when I was messing around with the Twitter video, so it should be back to normal now. Sorry about that, guys.
Right. If chat could tell me. Okay, people.
Yeah.
Is it back to normal, bros?
It should be fine now. It was because I had changed the audio settings a little bit to try and turn up the Twitter video volume or whatever it was, but it should be good.
Right.
Yeah, it should be good now. Yeah, okay. So about the nuclear sites, there's even reports that they weren't even that damaged. So who knows? Airstrikes did not destroy Iran's nuclear capability, only set it back by a few months. Well, now they're doing this again. We're going to look at CNN, CNN has not changed at all in terms of it's still CNN. So they are always anti-Trump no matter what. We'll see that. And they are back on the 2 more weeks till Iran nukes the world kind of narrative, as we'll see. But I don't know if we'll ever even know the answer to this as to whether or not they actually were seriously damaged or destroyed. It seems that they were not destroyed for sure.
Interject?
Yeah.
Can I
Please.
interject here for a sec? Look, okay, so I think you must have seen Boondocks, right? Remember that classic scene from Boondocks where Once and Rummy are like robbing the 7-Eleven, right? It's a thinly veiled reference to the Iraq War, right? And the guy behind the counter, the shopkeeper, right? The guy he goes like, put down the weapon. He's like, I'm not holding a weapon, right? Your father helped me build this store. What are you doing, right? Now, I think that one of the reasons why CNN and other outlets are doing this is because if Iran's nuclear program is ended, that removes Israel's casus belli, right? I mean, of course, the actual casus belli is, the prophecy and, greater Israel and all that kind of other stuff, right? But they can't come out and say that because it looks kind of bad, right? Instead, they need this, this reason why we're going to go to war, right? So they've got to keep this alive, right? Remember that even according to the IAEA, they didn't say that Iran had a nuclear weapon. They just said that they've like basically stopped inspections and, they detected like this or that kind of thing, right? The IAEA actually had to come out rather sheepishly a couple of days later and say like, look, we didn't say that Iran has a nuclear weapon, right? So the best casus belli is one that your opponent can never refute, right? So the best casus belli is like when W said to Saddam, "You've got to give," but the Iraqis didn't have Bin Laden, right? So like, if you don't give us Bin Laden, we're going to level your entire country. You better give it to us now, right? And Saddam's like, "But we do not have a Bin Laden," and it turned out, of course, the Iraqis did not have Bin Laden. Goddamn Pakistan, right? And Afghanistan, right? So I think this is just a calculated sort of thing to keep the casus belli alive. And once this sort of didn't work, they've started pivoting to like, oh well, no one's found the enriched uranium now. You know what I mean, right? Like, they have to keep this war going because it's sort of on life support at this point. And I think this is what Trump was trying to do, was just be like, right, you say that you have to go to war because they've got a nuclear program, right? Well, the nuclear program is ended now. Right, stop bugging me about this war.
Yeah. I mean, but that's that must have been sort of what happened. It's the thing that makes the most sense. Is just he seemed to get too pissed off about it. He was being, and also clearly the Israelis have not kept their word on anything. And I think maybe he picked up on that after a while. It's that these people are playing you and they have no intention of repaying it or you don't get anything out of this deal.
Trump is basically looking at the situation as it is, which is what do they actually supply other than nightmares and horrors,
right? And about these two, like from the way that bombs work, even they're just supposed to be, because were they even the bunker busters that
they were
okay,
they were, so they dropped like 14 bunker busters on Fordo, and I think they dropped a couple on Isfahan. And then they sort of topped that off with a sort of lovely amuse-bouche of Tomahawk missiles to sort of like flatten the. And I haven't read this, but this is my opinion, right? They've got satellite coverage of all of these facilities. Okay, all they really need to do is destroy the entrances, right? And then if any of the Iranians turn up and start construction again, just drop more missiles on them and kill all the construction crews. It's not. Like, they're like, oh my god, what if the centrifuges are, like, still active? It doesn't matter, right? If anyone shows up, right, and starts digging around, like, Fordo or Isfahan, right, they'll just drop more Tomahawks. It's not... It's basically disabled.
That's the whole point of these places being underground, is because if there are fissile reactant material enough to cause a criticality event, it's far enough down that most likely it'll just launch some rubble into low orbit, like they did with that steel plate.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Funnily enough, people tend to armor and place quite low their nuclear sites for this precise reason.
But that's going to be the narrative, is that, and he probably didn't actually, decimate them and destroy them for that exact reason, or the exact reason.
They totally telegraphed.
Right. Yes, it was telegraphed. Right? It was telegraphed back. They were telegraphing all the ways, like, and then, we're gonna hit this bass and guitar, just heads up, right?
Moving people off site now so that they don't get hurt. Because I don't think anyone wants a situation where someone is trapped in a bunker with a bunch of nuclear material and no way out.
That's probably fine, right? I mean, I don't know if you've got the article like lined up, Aiden, but the like, oh, they removed all the fissile material. I heard a very, very interesting opposite, which is that maybe they stuck all the fissile material they had inside Fordo because it's the most secure location they have. In which case, all their fissile material is now basically unreachable unless they like tunnel into it. If they tunnel into it, more tomahawks. So
right, yeah. But this is Fordo here in the picture. Post strike. Yeah. Yeah, I'm unsure. Either way, well, I don't think we will know for a while. But the reality is that it's already going to become a talking point, which is that, at least for some, more evidence of 2 more weeks, Iran will have a nuclear device. So,
even though
they have been banging on about that since 1993.
Yes.
Man, right? Like, I mean, you maybe even earlier. You remember, Aiden, you're old enough to remember this, right? Back when, the UN Security Council, through that brief period where they were using props all the time, right? And Bibi gets up with that like cartoon thing of like a bomb, and he draws a little red line at the top. And he's like, "They're this close, bros. Two more weeks. Two more weeks. We swear." It's literally like climate change, right?
Yes.
I was about to mention Al Gore.
It's the same shit. It's to keep people in a constant state of fear and tension that, the other shoe could drop at any second.
Because the MK Ultra experiment taught us that if you traumatize people and terrorize them enough, they'll do whatever you say.
Yeah. Now, we haven't played it yet, but we do just have to watch.
This is so fucking bad.
I mean, it was when this happened, I was just like, what the just a whole series of events, like, what the fuck? I mean, okay, but here it was, yeah.
Iran violated the peace agreement and the ceasefire agreement. Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Are you questioning if Israel is committed?
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. When I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because of one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have 2 countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. You understand that?
That just walks off. I mean, that did go really hard.
What they're doing. I mean, like,
Semite fatigue levels at an all-time high.
Yeah.
Do you think, right, that is the harshest criticism that a sitting US president has made of Israel?
I mean, it has to
in
have been.
your lifetime?
Yeah.
I cannot think of another example.
Well, no one's dropped an F-bomb publicly about him, no.
That's a lot worse than what JFK said when he shot him.
Yeah. I mean, good God. In that sense, be a little worried for Trump, yeah? Holy.
I mean, yeah, but like,
Hannah, dude.
Let's say they did, right? Like, who would they replace him with? Well, I mean, like, what, Nikki Haley, or, I mean, I don't know.
JD with a fucking fatality.
If they tried it and they got found out. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Right? Like, that
JD walks in like he's Augustus. And just starts glassing the region.
Exactly. He'd be like, I'd like to announce that my new name is President Hadrian.
I mean, I can't believe the madman actually fucking, and it appears to, at least as of now, have worked. Of course, my brain is always trying to spin and go, wait, what's the actual move here? What's happening? Like, what am I missing?
Okay, can we start calling JD Vance Jadrian?
Jadrian.
Hadrian. Oh yeah, that's right. Vance would replace him. Of course.
Right.
Yeah. I am
when
very,
JD
very
heard the
smart.
news,
Yeah.
he went.
Yeah. No, it's because I was working on a script, like wondering what would happen if the assassination attempt at Butler, PA, had actually been successful.
Yeah.
And that's why that was in my brain. Yeah, of course. Yeah, Vance would just come in and just be like, God, imagine if they did it and they got caught.
I mean, yeah. They've gotten caught every time they've done it before, and just people pretend like it didn't happen. But okay.
I think that's the major problem with Israel, is that they've been taught that they are much craftier than they actually are, because everyone is like deaf, dumb, and blind to what they're doing, because they are being paid specifically to ignore it. So they never actually they're not actually that good at
I
espionage.
mean, everyone's vested financial interest is in maintaining these lies, and of course they're, and not just financial interest. Let's be clear about what happens. You go against these people, they'll destroy your life, one way or another.
Iran like right before this all kicked off, breached Mossad's tech security.
Oh, yeah.
And dumped like the biggest leak in Israel's entire history.
Yeah.
That story disappeared real
Yes,
quick.
it did.
Has anyone seen those leaks? I remember seeing
No.
like 4 screenshots on 4chan of allegedly the targets for the Samson option, but I haven't seen anything else. I remember
Not
when that
since.
story happened, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Is that
same.
the real reason why they went to war?"
It could have been, but I also haven't seen anything about that. Well, I mean, I guess like the news cycle has been inundated with all the other stuff happening relatedly. So yeah, I have no idea if that ended up being real or not, or what happened with that. But I
Yeah,
also saw that.
What if all the people who have the decryption password to that like huge trove of data are now dead?
It possibly.
Right?
Likely.
Because they would obviously wouldn't have put it up on like a public intranet, right? Like Iran literally cut their outside internet access to stop from being cyber hacked, right? So what if, they've got this data and it's all encrypted and all the people who have the password are dead now?
Yeah. It's certainly possible.
Considering it's a nation that wants to completely annihilate the world in like a scattered nuclear assault, rather than have to retake their own land if they would even start to lose a fight.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past them to just go, okay, we're just going to tie off every loose end right here and there, which is something they've been doing repeatedly throughout history.
Yeah. But yeah,
So
the madman actually did it, bro.
I'll say so much, I wouldn't want to be the journalist who tries to break any of the information that was in that fucking Mossad leak.
Let me
Catch a fucking CIA journalism award real fast.
Let me catch up on the super chats, and then we'll move on to the post, sort of, I guess, last 2 days reactions to things, to everything that's happened. Applied Virtue for 10 says, when you have time, I'd like to talk to you about the situation. I don't know what to think about this thing between you and Spoon till I hear both sides. I'm gonna have to. I'll post my stuff on Twitter, I guess. I don't know, just so it's more readily available. But yeah, thank you, man. Artemis Fowl for 10 says, what's wrong with the Masonic Lodge? Also, I was confident Trump was going to put boots on the ground. Yeah, me too. Same method was used when killing Soleimani. Oh, you're confident he wasn't going to? Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, same method uses when killing Soleimani. Yeah, true. I did,
Yeah, that's a good point.
I did think he was gonna, I was convinced the other way around. I thought, oh man, he's totally in it,
I was also convinced I didn't even think about the Soleimani situation, apart from just thinking it wouldn't be like that because it would be the same strategy again.
Yeah.
But,
Rep Bartholomew Cheesington for 10 says, Islam is dying out, Christianity is rising. I think this was maybe even a miscalculation on this, but I'll talk about this in a second. More people want the 19th Amendment gone. My Australian blood is singing for me to steal something. And lads, this is one of the biggest cases of we're so fucking back. I mean, it's so far it's looking pretty good right now, yeah. I was worried about the rising Christian element. I talked about it last week. Bill's voice still too low? Turned up. 1 second. About how it seemed to me as if maybe the whole return to Christ that was happening on the right was being used as a Trojan horse to slip in Christian Zionism into the right-wing populist movements, such as they are. And that doesn't appear to have... I mean, I saw it...
Well, because the versions of Christianity... The versions of Christianity that are rising are primarily Orthodox and Tradcath.
Yeah.
And Christian Zionism doesn't mix with those. And I keep seeing these sort of alarmist articles being put out. Oh, so many people are converting to Orthodox Christianity, right? Like we should be concerned. Well, look, if you had more people converting to Christian Zionism, right? It's only sort of the based and red-pilled forms of Christianity that are any kind of threat.
People at home, though, you need to fucking gatekeep. I've got anecdotes from people who are Greek Orthodox who are saying that their churches are infiltrated at this point.
I mean, again, we looked at some of it last. We looked at some of it last week. Again, I brought up some of Melanie Mack's tweets because it was because she is newly converted to Christianity and is very new to it. No, so she was an interesting sort of example of it because she was very much Christians are essentially subservient to Jews. Jews are the real chosen people. We need to back our greatest ally, Israel, all that kind of stuff. And it was just like, whoa. Yeah. it was pretty intense levels of Zionism. But
you're
I was
right
expecting more
about-
of that.
You're right about like some parts of Orthodoxy. When I was in the States, we went to a Greek Orthodox church, and it was basically like mixed with Protestantism. The thing
Yeah.
about the Orthodox Church is that it doesn't have a pope. It's like a bunch of different there's some fancy word they use for it, self-governing churches. So on the one hand, it's safer because you can't just say like take over the Vatican and then the entire church. But
Yeah,
on the other hand,
there's no head to cut
you're
off.
likely to lose like at least like a few patriarchates to subversion. So, you know, swings and roundabouts.
It's why Jan Hus was very specific. The bride of Christ is the body of the church, not the head of the church.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had to read not Taberetsky. Taberetsky's a very different figure. Holy shit! I read Jan Hus's. No, Taberetsky's a real person who just didn't get up to as much as was in the Hoi 4 mod. He just assassinated the guy. However, the Taborites were a faction who followed Jan Hus's release. I had to read. I can never remember the name of it. It's like Ecclesiarchies by Jan Hus. Very, very dry. Very academic in that regard. It's much like with academic pieces. It keeps rotating around the same pieces of information over and over again to hammer home the point with specificity. Fuck, it's dry. It's real dry.
Yeah. Kerala for 20 Canadian says, sorry about the drama. Glad to hear your side. Thanks, friend. Regarding Israel, I'm laughing at the dispensationalism heresy nonsense. You also forgot that, the 2 golden rules, nothing ever happens, and 2, the Patriots are in control, trust the plan. Apparently, right?
Trust the plan.
For a second, I thought
Patriots.
something was going to happen. Silly me. I fell for it again award.
Where we go one, we go nothing happens.
Ringo, nothing ever happens. Major Metroid for 2 says, King? No. Emperor Trump. There you go. Mario Trillo for 5 says, the left, you can't start a generational war. That's our job. No generational war started. The left, why didn't you start a generational war? Yeah, I know. It's truly bizarre to behold. Both the left and the Warhawk right just having a complete and utter fucking meltdown over this. Dear Tis King for 10 says, I lost my job at the beginning of June, but it could be worse. Sorry, man. I know. I think you had mentioned that before. I'm sorry, man. I could be a spoon. He's always rubbed me the wrong way. I look forward to this new chapter for the channel and look forward to your next vid. Look, I have no animus towards Spoon whatsoever. At all. I was hoping that we could work through this amicably. Well, yeah, I'm a little miffed that he would drop this right before I was about to go live, so I had no forewarning. Which he told Scrump he was going to do last week, and then he said he wasn't going to do it, and everything was fine. So, I mean, again, didn't just backstab me, but backstab Scrump as well. And you, Bill, you know, and everybody.
I was trying to give the man some. Like, I was going to talk
trying
to
to
him
give
over
him
the weekend,
time to
but
cool
we
off,
just said like I certainly told you like my gut doesn't feel it. I reckon give him some breathing room.
That's what I know. That's what you said, and because I asked you before if I should, you know,
Mayor
and I asked
Cole,
Scrump as
boys
well.
and girls, I should have fucking chimed in when I didn't. I should have done.
No, there's nothing you can do about it now. Oh well.
Celebrate.
But speaking of, okay, right. So this is like post facto. Just all of a sudden, the Trump, it didn't work. The Christian Zionism shit didn't work to instill this like need to go to war with Iran. I think in the way it was supposed to. Trump just did whatever the fuck he felt like doing, apparently. And now the now the glazing has begun a little bit because I think everyone is flabbergasted that he managed to pull this off.
This is so disgusting.
I
saw
know,
this.
this is
Like,
gross.
I'm just like,
Of course. Okay, I've got a friend who works in The Hague, and I just hope he didn't fucking see this because I can just know he might run into the person who did this. That's disgraceful.
Lance for 20 says, you mean to tell me the Israeli intelligence service can identify the location of the entire Iranian military brass down to the minute, but they couldn't hear the paraglider squadron flying over the border on October 7th? Yeah, apparently.
For reference,
yeah, well,
Israel
was leaking stuff to the Israelis. Is the accusation from the Iranians?
Oh, okay.
Israel is accurate enough that, you know, those Hellfire missiles with no actual warhead, it's just blades strapped to the side that they use to kill people in jeeps. They've hit people in like apartment buildings with those and killed just the people in that room. Meanwhile, every time they conduct a fucking fire mission in Gaza, it kills fucking like 1,000 fucking people.
Yeah.
So, either you're precise enough and good enough at espionage, you can ID like key figures all over the place and kill them with absolute precision, or you're a bunch of fuckwits who can't aim. And this is the same shit we saw with the ATF Waco. They could have grabbed old David anytime they want when he's out for a jog, but they wanted a song and dance number, and this is what we're seeing here. And I'm sorry, folks in Israel, you might not like how this dance ends.
Yeah, man.
Go on. I
Okay.
need to. I need to
fucking
hear
horse
the debasement of Mark Rutte.
Yes.
Fighting each other. They've had it. They've had a big fight, like two kids in a schoolyard. You know, they fight like hell. You can't stop them. Let them fight for about 2-3 minutes. Then it's easier to stop them.
And then Daddy has to sometimes use strong language.
Oh, it makes my skin crawl.
I mean, in the context of the situation, it's not as bad as it could have been. I was expecting full-born Milo behavior.
Oh,
but, this is more is more English is my second language, and I feel like I'm much more in tune with the terms and idioms than I actually am.
Do you think he then later said, "Give me unklap, Papa"? So you know Dutch isn't a real language.
Dutch is not a fucking real language. That's an accurate fucking Dutch sentence.
It is.
This is a country that has a chocolate version of fairy bread. Let me find the name of it because it's fucking retarded.
It sounds kind of nice, actually.
I mean,
It's still hundreds and thousands on bread and butter. It's called Hagelslag.
oh,
Hagerschlag, yeah.
It's delicious. But even Trump looks like he's just looking. Actually, Trump probably likes it.
Papa.
If he
Remember you're on like some stream and you showed like the Dutch paper after like Hitler was deposed. It was like
Hitler
dude, what
no
new?
you? Hitler dude, what? No
What
you.
new?
It's not a serious language. Oh my God.
Just listen. If you want to get if the Netherlands wants to be taken seriously, either they take back the Flemish parts of Belgium and call it a day, so we can finally be rid of Belgium, or get off the fucking pot entirely. Stop trying to pretend like you're not a proper country.
I bet Hagelslag is delicious. So I agree with you, Dodger.
Yeah, but I stand by my tweet, which is it looks like the fairy bread you get when you, instead of bringing the regular like gift to the Fae for their works, you give them like a pack of Newports and a me bottle of Hennessy.
Just because it's not as colorful. Oh, okay.
Yeah, also it looks like it's burnt.
You didn't get to hear Rutte call Trump daddy, Papa.
Oh wait, he did. No, he did.
Yeah.
Did he call him Papa as well? He says,
Oh, God.
No.
Here it is. Right here.
No, it's just Trump talking.
No. Here it is. It's worth playing again.
Then it's easier to stop them.
And then Daddy has to sometimes use strong language to
You have to
get
use
stuff.
strong language.
Daddy has to sometimes use strong language.
Okay,
yeah.
I had a second
Right,
look at the
right,
guy.
right.
That is just the janitor from Scrubs. That is just the janitor from Scrubs 1-to-1. Look at him.
Yeah, he doesn't like the
Let's
janitor.
make cancer feel foolish.
I think isn't he supposed? Oh no, wait, he's like supposed to be Norwegian, I think, isn't he?
Mark Root.
No, the janitor from Scrubs.
Oh yeah, he's Jan Etor.
Yes.
He's meant to be Dutch. Mark Root.
Oh right, Jan Etor. He is Dutch. I thought he was I think maybe he says Norwegian, but they give him a
Secretary General of
Dutch
NATO.
name.
He is from the Netherlands, yes, and unsurprisingly,
Yeah.
he is actually a Dutch word.
That's why we're making fun of Dutch.
I'm just making sure that we're not fucking up, okay?
Yeah,
It's hard
true,
for me to
true,
make
true,
sure
true.
that we don't balls this one up.
Strong language to
You have to
get
use
stuff.
strong language. Every once in a while, you have to use a certain word. They're not
You have to
gonna-
use a certain word. Yeah, you're talking about saying fuck, not daddy though. Yeah, my God.
I think that was
So
a kind of a
weird.
double entendre there in and of itself. So
Yeah,
like,
please
please don't call me that.
Don't
I've
do that
had
again.
after the Milo. I'm guessing that's probably like a little point of trauma for poor Trump.
I'd really wait. I know what it is. Hang on. Let me pull this up real quick. It's the most awkward moment of all time. Really prefer if you'd be quiet.
No, we can't be bringing Chibi up in the year of our Lord 2025
Why not?
because he's a nonce.
Oh, is he?
I recall correctly, yes.
Oh my God.
At the very least, a sex
So
pest.
this
I
is
can't
the case
recall
where
the
getting crabs
particulars.
is a good thing? Yeah.
Here it is.
Hype?
I would really prefer if you would be quiet.
Yeah, that was it.
Goodness me.
Really prefer if you'd be
Oh
quiet.
god, I felt that in my spinal cord. I clenched my face into a fist.
For caveman, he had no idea. CNN last week, U.S. intel says that Iran is years away from developing a nuclear weapon. Trump bombs Iran's nuclear facilities. CNN today, U.S. intel says that Iran's nuclear program has been set back a few months. Like...
No, it's now got moved further.
Which
It's moved forward. It's moved forward faster now than ever. Now they've got a missile.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, it's a...
It just happens to have gone. It's only slightly used.
It's the chronotom bomb or something. It changes the way the time progresses.
Iran has the Omega particle.
Yeah.
We cannot wait for the smoking gun to come in the form of a mushroom cloud. I just like, oh,
It's
sorry.
so good. It's so good.
I watched that clip like a bunch of times. I was just like, I think I'm still kind of like got Iraq War PTSD.
Yeah,
Like,
well, many people do,
only
quite
Gen X
literally.
pros will understand, you know, like.
But it also feels like we were so close to just being in a rerun.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like that's.
I don't
of course
think any
it's why
party
it's
really wants that. I
prescient.
remind you the last time we let the Anglos involve themselves in anything of this matter, they sent in the SAS, and we have such instances as the guy who was blind and deaf from an explosion, but had a claw hammer and was finding insurgents with his sense of smell. I don't think that anyone in the Middle East wants that fucking heat.
Yeah.
At the
But
best of
also,
time.
They spun this up really quickly.
Yes,
right? Like,
yes.
that was the thing that really surprised me, and this is why I kind of thought that maybe this was because of that massive leak that the Iranians
Right.
said
Yeah.
they had, right? Because usually, right, you'd give it like, you know, a good year, right? You know, you sort of prepare the ground, right? You start talking about Iran's new weapon, right? You get like a nice false flag or two, right? Like some massacres and stuff like that. You talk it up. This just came out of nowhere, and it was such a compressed time frame, right? Like it was literally like just about a week before,
right?
You know, like they're like, you know, Iran has a nuclear weapon all of a sudden, right? And then it's like bang, right? Like, and I thought, quite honestly, that was pretty poor form, right? Like I think the lack of propaganda preparation actually made people like notice, because the shift was so jarring. You've got to
yes it was all, I mean, it was all of a sudden
the public
within
you know,
hours.
Right? You got to take it out to dinner and, you know, whisper sweet nothings into its ear and, you know, muddy the waters.
Cocks out in the popcorn on this one.
Exactly.
And it
like,
also
bam!
The first date, damn, what a fucking savage.
They've spent so many years fomenting this like far leftist anti-Israel shit as well. So which, you know, of course the purpose of that is to increase support for Israel via psychological reactance, and look how crazy these people are. That's why people like Hassan Piker, etc., have been allowed to do the insane shit that they've been allowed to get away with. Was in my opinion, was intentionally to foment sympathy for Israel, but it doesn't appear to have fucking worked. And it's everything was playing out like it was supposed to play out at first, but then Trump, did not take the next steps he was supposed to take. It was just very.
He essentially jump scared the Middle East.
I mean, we all saw. I'm sure, NewsFist, you and I were mostly aligned in what we expected to happen here as well. That it just seemed like this was I've seen this episode, you know, a dozen times before.
Yeah, I was absolutely expecting them to just like. Honestly, the next thing I was expecting was some kind of false flag.
Yes.
In the US, right? Like I was expecting
really
I'm gonna like wake up one morning and like, oh my god, Iran has like, you know,
the Pentagon
bombed New York or something like that, or the Pentagon or something, right? Oh my god, I guess we've got no option. I guess we're just gonna have to.
We have to.
Right?
It's the strangest thing. All the Jewish residents of New York called in sick to their house that morning.
Yeah. Let's see. Maria Triello for 5 says, don't forget the Lebanese are starting to sing Kumbaya because their neighbors to the south keep testing the border. Have to chat in code because of YouTube. Oh, yes. Actually, I've got some stuff on that as well. Sort of related to that. Thank you, Mario. Flan the Man 231 for 10 says, as someone who's been raised Baptist that doesn't believe in dispensationalism and has strong aversion to much of Catholic theology, I feel lost. What do? I don't know, man. The problem is that the seat of St. Peter is empty, right?
Yeah, throne St. Peter has been empty for fucking years.
So
decades and decades.
As someone who's Catholic, I mean, like, the way that I've grown up and the way that I've been raised and that I've been confirmed is all in the Catholic Church, even though my family's Lutheran and Protestant. So my mother's family's Lutheran. My dad is Disciples of Christ. But I identify
I'm a contrarian little
Catholics.
bitch.
I went to Catholic school from the age of 11 through college. So, unfortunately, though, if you that's what I would say as someone who is marginally Catholic.
I would recommend Orthodoxy. Orthodoxy is pretty awesome. But again, because it's technically sort of a bunch of different patriarchates, results can vary widely. There's the Greek version, which I personally prefer, and the Russian version, which is sort of like much more austere and kind of like weirdly mystical. Look, the problem with any church is you've got to go to the actual church and see if they take it seriously. There's no real sort of guarantee. If you've got eyes to see it, you can walk into any church. These guys are clearly like taking it seriously. These guys are just, LARPing essentially, right? You can have that with denomination, I think.
Yeah. Yep. Sorry, I also got some other bad news unrelated to this stuff. Let's see.
Unfortunately, Guernsey doesn't actually have an Orthodox church.
Well, that's the thing. Well, that's the other thing too about switching to Orthodoxy here is there is a Catholic church, and there's actually a couple of Catholic churches. So that's at least a possibility here.
The Orthodox Church does have an occasional, like the East Orthodox Church occasionally has a service in the Notre Dame de Rosaire venue. Once in a blue moon, but that's like one-off.
Yeah. Grulgar, who's been a member for 7 months, hey, thank you, man, says, I heard that November 7th was in response to the red calves they have in Israel. Well, there's always the red calf as part of the
They literally
prophecy.
breed them.
Yes, for that purpose.
They went out their way to find a strain of cow that had red hair naturally and breed them in perpetuity. So they always, literally, they have a box they want to keep ticked so hard they have essentially shanghaied an entire breed of bovine.
Yeah. Bean Warrior for 5 says, payment 1 of 6,000, purpose unexpected costs in utensil relocation program. Thank you, man. So let's see, only CNN could find someone to actually claim that because Trump bombed Iran's nuclear facilities, Iran now is only days away from being able to build a nuclear bomb. But CNN has found a way. Here it is.
That no president has done this before. It isn't because they weren't as intelligent as Donald Trump or they lacked the courage. It's because they listened to their military and intelligence officials who warned them that military strikes could be ineffective and could have serious adverse consequences. It could actually speed up a country's drive to get the bomb, not slow it down. That's what we're seeing here. There's enough capability left in Iran for them, just with the 60% enriched uranium that survived and the centrifuges and the other secret underground sites that they have, that they could be racing right now to construct a bomb, which they could do, at least the material for the bomb, within a matter of days and perhaps have a weapon within a few months.
It's just so bizarre to hear them say shit like this. Again, like you're just back in the early 2000s, right again. And even before that, in the 90s, just this whole idea of like any fucking day now, the 80s even, any fucking day now. In fact, by destroying or attacking their nuclear facilities, it made them stronger. What?
Well, I mean, he does have a point in a sense, right?
In that it could embolden them.
No, in the sense that, right, like if Iran has been engaging with the IAEA, been engaging with nuclear non-proliferation treaty, which Israel, by the way, is not a party to, right? So right. There's a rank hypocrisy here, right? Like Israel uses the NPT to beat Iran continually, right? No one goes and inspects the Israeli nuclear sites,
of course
right?
not.
Like no one goes to Moiner or anything like that, okay, right? So the lesson from the realist school of international relations is that yes, you need a nuke. Right, but I have heard rumblings. I don't know whether these are true or not, but I have heard rumblings that Russia or China are considering extending their nuclear umbrella to Iran. I think Russia just signed a mutual defense pact with Iran. I think. Pretty sure I read that somewhere. But this would be a neat way of getting around this situation, right? Like if another major country extends its nuclear umbrella, to Iran. Except, of course, I don't think Israel is a rational act. Is the problem of the because of the religious extremism. I'm not sure that would actually deter them, right? Because if you've got a like sort of a apocalyptic teleology going on, right, and you basically think that end state of the Messiah coming back is like this huge war between like Gog and Magog, right?
Yes.
Then if you combine that with the idea that action.
Hang on a second. You cut out there for a second for me. Sorry, could you say again? The last.
Yeah. If you've got this apocalyptic teleology combined with the idea that humans affect the timing of the second coming, right? Then you can wind up in a situation where we've got to start the final apocalyptic war, right? Otherwise, right, the Messiah won't come.
Well, but that's the whole point, right? Is that the wars need to happen, and they need to keep happening until we end up in the right war.
So someone in the chat says that Putla says that it doesn't include nukes, the mutual defense treaty. Thanks very much, Fuss. Yeah, I mean, interesting.
Well, that is interesting. I don't know either, but I haven't looked into that. That will be curious to see if it doesn't. But I mean, yeah, it's what Bill talked about before. It's the idea that all of your until the actual Messiah and the end times come about, all of your loved ones, all of your relatives are all in Sheol. So if you truly believe that, and therefore would not act logically as a nation because you believe in that this is a prophecy that needs to be fulfilled, and until it is, then all of your loved ones are suffering in hell. Well, yeah, you would want to try to bring that about, wouldn't you? An end to that. I mean, if this is a sincerely held theological belief, there you go. Which it appears to be.
Yeah, I mean, it does appear to be. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, look, obviously, right? Like, then the Jews are not a monolith, and it annoys when people but the Orthodox, like Chabad, which is sort of the biggest part of the Orthodox faction, right? Like, does think this way. So, man, I don't know. It's I can't get my head around.
Yeah. So here's what Pete Hegseth had to say about CNN when they're shit. It was actually decent.
Yeah. There's a reason the president calls out fake news for what it is.
I mean, I don't care so much about the fake news shit.
He's
also, Marco Rubio always looks terrified, like anywhere he goes. He always looks kind of scared in the corner.
Fuelers, these fighters, these air defenders, the skill and the courage it took to go into enemy territory, flying 36 hours on behalf of the American people in the world to take out a nuclear program, is beyond what anyone in this audience can fathom. And then the instinct of CNN, the instinct of the New York Times, is to try to find a way to spin it for their own political reasons, to try to hurt President Trump.
I mean, that is what it is. It's just pure sides cucktism. They don't care what the world thinks. Which is really pathetic, because it's like, that seriously playing checkers. There's way bigger shit going on, and they're still on Mossad's cucktism.
Thanks. They want to spin it to try to make him look bad based on a leak. Of course, we've all seen plenty of leakers. And what do leakers do? They have agendas. And what do? Do they share the whole information or just the part that they want to introduce? And when they introduce that preliminary report that's deemed to be a low assessment, you know what a low assessment means? Low confidence in the data in that report. And why is there low confidence? Because all of the evidence of what was just bombed by 12 30,000-pound bombs.
Yeah. We get the idea, though. But yeah, I mean, of course, that's why CNN is acting schizophrenic, is because it's all I care about is the Mossadism, right? And it did end up with some funny shit because, of course, like you said, it spooled up out of nowhere. There was no preamble to this to get people even prepared to figure out what side they were supposed to be on, right? So. But then you get just shit like this, this is just funny to me.
But the question is whether or not the calm can remain when the regime that is still there, who wants death to America, death to Israel, stays in place. And that is part of the discussion, right?
Yes, absolutely part of the discussion. And, I remember, Dan, at one point being in Tehran years ago, and they're chanting death to America all around me, even as I say, oh, I'm an American reporting for CNN, and they were happy to speak to me. So
yeah, because you're reporting, you work for CNN, and they just expect you also hate America, I guess.
So that those two is sort of jarring realities of the chant, and yet the friendliness have existed together.
Yeah, I don't think that means what she thinks it means. That no, we like you because you're a good American. No, it's because you work for a propaganda outlet that just hates America altogether and won't take a schizophrenic stance just to be anti-Trump, no matter how little it makes sense. Of course, there was a lot of money that was wasted on it, but more specifically, there's a lot of money that gets wasted arming Israel. Navy using munitions at alarming speed to defend Israel. This is on the 24th. Munitions production is a huge priority to the Defense Department. So, like, this is just another reason why it doesn't make any sense. I mean, everyone already knows this, but outside of the obvious immediate issue of the devastating cost of putting American lives on the line to fight a war that is not really America's business, of course. We're fighting as a proxy for Israel, or would have been. I mean, still possibly if things go really tits up. Outside of the loss of life, it's also a huge financial cost to continue to prop up Israel. Yeah, they've got their expensive Iron Dome. You know how expensive it is to operate that thing? By the way, like, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it's insane how much money it takes to use the Iron Dome.
It's not only insane, but there is a massive asymmetry. Because depending on the kind of missile launch from Iran, it might require up to 12 different interceptors in order to intercept that one missile. Right. And all of those interceptors are like millions of dollars each. Yeah. Right. So in terms of asymmetric economic warfare, right, the Iranians definitely have the advantage. I think this is far more a real reason behind the ceasefire than anything else.
Yes.
On the grapevine, they were basically saying that Israel was, and probably the Americans too, were just running out of interceptor ammunition, which is why I think this whole thing is basically on pause for, I don't know, at least a year. I guess they've got to spin up like an entire production line to make more Patriot interceptors.
Yes.
Apparently, they burned through most of their stock of like THAAD and Aegis missiles as well. You know, it's just they're not. They weren't geared up for this, you know.
Yeah, and I agree with you that I think it probably will be a spooling up now. There'll be a temporary piece, and then they need to build their narratives on this stuff. They clearly did not have narrative control the way that they thought they did, I guess, because it was way too confused and again schizophrenic, and people didn't know what way to go really on this. There weren't clear, obvious lines that people were supposed to take, which, I mean, that's the way politics work. You basically tell people, your side thinks this, the other side thinks that, and that makes it people don't have to think about it themselves, which does not make them stupid. It's because people have real shit to worry about in their daily lives. They don't have time to invest in a lot of this stuff, so they want, what's the easy answer? How does my social group function in this instance? And there's just it wasn't enough narrative building around this for it to be dropped.
What I really want to know is what happens to Ukraine.
Right.
Please remember, we are still fighting for the Russians, still seeking for peace. Please, Donald Trump, do not abandon us. I know I have new friends in European Union now, but we must still slava all of Ukraine. So many people are left to be killed.
Yeah, Zelensky's got to be molding about this. I mean, he's been molding about it for months, I'm sure. Hello, Bill. Dude.
He was actually seen in a suit at the NATO.
Really?
Thing. Remember he said, "I will never wear a suit."
Right. Because this is what I wear every day.
Okay, I'll be real talk. I saw the video of him in the suit. He just looks like Sargon. He looks eerily close to Sargon during the UKIP days.
I can't unsee that,
now let's
Bill.
see. Okay, Zelensky.
He looks like a little mini me to Sargon. It's really fucking sketchy.
I've got the link if you want it.
Sure.
Wait, hang on. Where is it's in my link?
Oh my god! Wait, this picture looks insane. Hang on. What? Not text. Close. Copy image address. There we go. Whoa! What the fuck is going on in this picture?
There's video of him arriving. I dropped it in.
You gotta remember, Zelensky is a fucking manlet, and the guy to his immediate right is Dutch and therefore ginormous. That's just a partition behind them.
Yeah.
For the room, so he's the Dutch dude's actually taller than the partition.
My god!
Everyone else by like a head and a half. He looks like an old Russian badger. It's fucked up.
I mean,
Well, he does look
looks
like
like
the
a fucking Nephilim, dude.
Yeah, no, he looks like the janitor from Scrubs. 1 to 1. He's just the
All
janitor
Dutch
from
people
Scrubs.
look like the janitor from Scrubs.
No,
apparently.
I think he's a Nephilim. I think you're right. What do you reckon the Dutch word for Nephilim is? Like Angelpuppe
Yeah,
or something? You know?
Yeah, something ridiculous. Whoa, hang on. Okay, Zelensky spotted in a suit. Yeah. Oh wow, he's still wearing like a gay little turtleneck or whatever. But yeah, interesting. He shows up to The Hague wearing a suit, even though he wouldn't do that before. I thought yeah, exactly. He wasn't going to do that until Ukraine was free from the Ruskies. I mean, again, like
turtleneck is symbol of my commitment to peace.
Yeah.
And to continue to slava Ukraine.
Apparently, the Dutch word for Nephilim that isn't Nephilim is Reus.
Aw, that's not funny. It was like Angelwingen Pupen or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's nowhere near as ridiculous as I was expecting it to be.
It'd be like you essentially like tall lad or something.
Tall, yeah.
Tall boy. It's like TU with a number LBOI with an accent.
Tall dude.
Tall dude. Yeah, tall dude.
Tall
No, that'd be the German.
It would be
The German version. That we have a thing in Germany for that thing you said. It's called that thing you said.
right.
God, linguistics is autistic.
Golden Challenger for 10 says, you mentioned 4chan saying there might be a false flag in New York City. They just had an election. Yeah, we'll cover that. The guy who doesn't like Israel won. Now Jewish organizations are calling for Jews to leave New York City. Yep, I saw that.
109.
Like I said, it's been a week of L's for the Jews. Maria Trillo, who's been a member for 4 months, says, I've never been so happy for a plot twist. Long live MAGA. Yeah, I mean, it was not what I was expecting, but as I keep saying, I'm a little bit shocked by all of it. So, we wasted money, yes. Oh, so just back on more general Trump news and U.S. news, I guess. So, SCOTUS shuts down activist court, clears way for Trump to begin deportations to third countries again. I like that, because we were talking about this the other day as well, is that it's very specifically, and the reason why is, of course, because it's, look, Mexico allows these immigrants to come across the border basically unimpeded. It's not really their job to stop it, right? So instead, just put them back in Mexico, essentially, which incentivizes Mexico to do something about it. So there you go. That's allowed again. Get fucked.
England was doing it. They were sending people to fucking Albania.
Right, and then they'll do something about it.
You're going to Albania.
I don't think they sent anyone to Albania. They were just saying that they were.
It'd be a cool
until they reform the Human Rights Act and disallow sections of the ECHR. Like no one's going here. Like literally, you can just show up to court and say, "Oh, if I am sent back to my home country, they will pluck out my butt hairs, and plus my child does not like McDonald's." You know, it's like it's the most stupid excuses they're coming out with now.
Wow, I actually have a story
was a holiday
about
there
that.
8 times a year?
I have a story about such a thing. British man charged over... Oh, wait, this is the wrong one. This is the next one. I had 2 UK news articles, which are about similar... And it's UK spelled the way you think. Migrant can stay in UK because he does not want to shave. Similar kind of shit. Asylum seeker from Tajikistan has been allowed to stay...
Sorry.
Oh, it is. No, it is. Has been allowed to stay in the UK because he would have had to shave his beard off if he was deported. The unnamed man won an appeal after arguing that he could be tortured and have his facial hair forcibly removed if he was sent back home.
Ibly removed in Tajikistan.
Fuck. Holy shit. I don't know how that happened. Whoopsie. The Home Office tried to deport him back to the Central Asian state, but an asylum court has now ruled that he may be entitled to international protection in the UK because of his beard.
War of the beard! War of the beard!
In Tajikistan, beards are unofficially banned by the government, and hundreds of thousands of men have been arrested for having one in the last decade. Men in the country with beards are arrested, shaved against their will, and have their fingerprints taken by the police. It is a government campaign to try and prevent men from becoming radicalized by joining Islamic extremist terror groups. So...
Shaved against his will! The story of an asylum seeker!
I mean, unbelievable!
Oh God!
Why do I have the? Oh, by the way, the AI reader. It's so I can read articles while I'm also editing and doing other stuff. That's why I have the AI reader, because I need to multitask like a madman. But yeah, since I'm on the UK news, I guess right now, there was the other article. So you have this on one side of it. Migrant gets to stay in the UK because he doesn't want to shave his beard, and then British man charged over mock Disneyland wedding to child. So, just what the fuck kind of headline is this? British man charged over mock Disneyland wedding to child had been investigated by the BBC.
Yeah, apparently she was 9 years old, but he
Yes.
stuck her in 4-inch heels so that people couldn't tell the difference.
I guess so, right?
Oh, God.
I do like that. Even the BBC.
It's that old joke, you know?
Yes,
I
yes.
think you're a pedophile. That's a pretty big word for a 9-year-old.
Right. British pedophile charged in connection with organizing a mock wedding to a child in Disneyland Paris as Jackie Dodge, who was found guilty of sexual activity with two 15-year-olds in 2016, the BBC understands. Dodge had been charged in connection with organizing a fake ceremony on Saturday in which a 9-year-old Ukrainian girl was due to feature as his bride. He was arrested when police were called on Saturday morning by an actor who said he'd been hired by Dodge to play the father of the bride. The BBC has previously investigated how Dodge was able to hire hundreds of children to act as his fawning fans at fake film premiere in London's Leicester Square. Is that Leicester? How do you pronounce that?
This guy?
I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he got done in London because he was like putting out ads to hire all these kids, right, for a fake film premiere.
He's just a pedophile.
So
who's surprised?
He's just got an unaccompanied Ukrainian
9-year-old.
Oh my God! Every day we stray further from God. Holy shit! Oh, that is so grim, dude.
I know. Fucking, but absolute state. I can't believe you brought up that beard shaving thing though, because I was like, whoa, I have an article on that. This is just unfucking believable though. He's been on the sex offenders register since 2016 and has been in prison. He's subject to restrictions of his freedoms under terms of sexual harm. Like, okay, but given his name, is this guy not? Was he born in England, or is he an immigrant? I mean, I guess he's been here since at least 2016.
He's been here long enough to be a known paedophile.
Yeah, Leicester Square. Oh my God, Cyberjohn.
Not only that, like, where is he getting the money, right, to like hire out the front of the London Odeon, like to hire out like the whole of like Leicester Square, right, so that hundreds of children can come and he can get like a good look at them and probably tell the parents, oh yeah, right, like, you know, your child has like a great modeling career in front of them, just come to Dubai. I mean, oh God.
You know, Dubai, that country that is well known for luring people to the country, stealing their passports and turning them into slaves, and has a long-standing issue with sex slavery.
Yeah, 2 months later,
Racist.
following a BBC investigation, George was filmed posing naked in front of a mocked-up BBC News lorry in London, which had been set on fire. For the mock wedding in Paris, which was to be filmed by George's team, around 100 French extras had been recruited to take part. The BBC understands that he appeared in front of a judge in Meaux, northeast of Paris on Monday, and was charged with fraud, breach of trust, money laundering, and identity theft, and placed in pretrial detention. Preliminary findings also stated he had allegedly been made up professionally, so his face appeared totally different from his own. What was he doing? What did his face look like? It's fucking insane.
That's him there.
Right? Like,
yeah.
Look, who doesn't have an unaccompanied Ukrainian child just hanging about? And I've got a couple in the backyard.
Yeah, apparently, this guy's apparently...
Can't.
Look at this, yeah. Judged by a parent recognized him from the BBC investigation, taking young people outside dance auditions. What the fuck? This guy
Cuties 2 is looking fucking awful.
This is in 2024. He has been on the sex offenders register since 2016. Nearly a decade. And he's got a queue of children in front of his fucking flat. That's unbelievable. But, I mean, no, it is believable. It's just fucked up beyond belief. So, let's see.
Check the look on his face.
Oh, I know. Yeah. God, disgusting.
I don't want my beautiful children.
Right? Yeah.
Who wants to make some money?
He looks like he owns a vape shop.
He probably does. He probably does, and he fucking traffics children through.
Do you know that Ukraine is the sex trafficking capital of the Western world?
Yeah.
So we shouldn't be surprised it was a Ukrainian girl.
Which is why we absolutely have to support it with billions and billions of dollars of our tax.
Right.
Think of all of the... Oh, no, I'm not going to say that. But just think of all the horrible consequences if Ukraine got shut down, right?
Yeah.
Like,
oh, I know. Speaking of pedophiles, too, Anthony Weiner humiliated, loses comeback race to man with same name as infamous pedophile rapist Harvey Weinstein.
Now, to be fair, this man's name is Weiner. He was already...
It was Weiner versus Weinstein. Unbelievable levels of...
Cases,
you know?
sounds like
how
a
did
fucking...
this happen?
Aiden, do you have the clip of the New York debate, mayoral debate?
No,
where they're
no,
like
no.
talking about like, you know, where are you going to go first after you get elected mayor?
To Anthony Weiner?
No, like no. This is the most recent one. Like, hang on, wait. I've got it here somewhere. Right? Basically,
the commie.
There's like a live debate, right? And all of the people, all the candidates are being like asked, right? What happens, you know, like once you get elected, where's the first foreign country you're gonna like visit? And all of them, right, barring this Muslim guy, the one who's currently in the front running, basically said that they're gonna go to Israel. Play this clip. Like, this is just insane.
Alrighty. There we go. Do-do-do.
Foreign visit by a mayor of New York is always considered significant. Where would you go first? Left to right, Ms. Adams.
First visit, I would visit the Holy Land.
Mr. Cuomo.
Given the hostility and the anti-Semitism that has been shown in New York,
oh my God, do they
I
really
would
all
go
say
to
it?
Israel.
Oh wow.
Mr. Tilson, where would you go?
Yeah, I'd make my 4th trip to Israel, followed by my 5th
Oh
trip
my
to
God,
Ukraine, two of our
this is comedic.
greatest allies.
No, he says he's going to go to Ukraine.
He's at the thing. He's at the thing. Reset the clock.
Oh my God, he's the thing. He did those.
Of the global war on terror.
Mr. Mamdani.
I would stay in New York City. My plans are to address New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs and focus on that.
Mr. Mamdani, can I just jump in? Would you visit Israel as mayor?
I will be doing.
I can't believe this is the
right.
overt of the struggle session.
Right?
Yeah.
Doing as the mayor, I'll be standing up for Jewish New Yorkers, and I'll be meeting them wherever they are across the 5 boroughs, whether that's in their synagogues and temples or at their homes.
Now, to be fair, the way he says that does make it sound like it's a threat, just
Well,
because
yeah.
the cadence.
Yeah. What the heck? What's going on?
Yeah,
Twitter's way back's been fucked.
Has it? Has it? This is the first time.
Honestly, I thought this was a comedy skit when I first saw it.
I was convinced it was.
I couldn't believe this was real.
It plays like a
This-
comedy skit.
This is like that. This is legit like an all onion, like fucking
Yeah.
skit.
It's like one of those AI things you see on Twitter now, right? From the spicy accounts. I just like okay, if this video won't load, like, you know, just
Yeah,
you
it won't
know,
load, it won't.
spoiler alert. Everybody else on the panel says that they'll go to Israel first,
Of
right? Except for
course.
the one guy who's like, I'll go to Israel, and then after that I'll go to Ukraine. Except for that one.
Is that what he
guy
ended up saying?
who
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, I'm going to stay in, and then as you saw, the panel's like, yeah, but you will go to Israel.
But you will, right? Exactly. It's like right, but after you take care of the shit you're actually elected to do, you go to Israel and kiss the wall, right?
This thing, they had an opportunity to say, well, we know that you'd obviously prioritize New York, but what would be the first foreign place you'd visit? The first, not when, what you do as soon as.
Right. I mean that.
They had the opportunity to do that and said, "Go. What do you mean?
What do you
do intend to go to Israel, the Holy Land, though, right?
Right,
Kiss the
right.
wall and bend the fucking knee.
Right.
But
and kiss the wall.
that's more
yeah, right?
to them. That's more important. Like that's more incredulous that he would not say that than
Yeah.
the fact that he just dodged the question entirely.
Yeah. And again, this is, remember, they're running for mayor of a city. It is New York City, but they are running for mayor of a city. So yeah, what is this about having to go to foreign countries in the first place as a mayor? I mean, mayors of New York have had typically pretty, let's say, impactful political careers that, let's not say necessarily good or bad, typically on the pretty bad side, but have gone on to have influential political careers. So, but still, like, yeah, why is the question even being asked for mayor of New York? And again, it wasn't even a question about where. It really was, well, when would you go to Israel? When would you go to it? That was bizarre.
Why aren't you going right now?
Right. Yeah, why aren't you there right now?
Let's face it, everyone else in the room was like that. This was set up for that guy. And here's the thing. This guy is basically pretty much just straight up communist.
Yeah, he's a
Which-
commie Muslim.
Someone is pointing out that I can't remember who it was that pointed it out, but said that there is a specific stricture against communism that's currently still in law. If you show that you have communist sympathies, even sympathies, within 5 years of your citizenship exam and like all the paperwork, they will just renege your citizenship entirely because that proves that you lied on your application.
Yeah.
Because one of the questions is, do you have communist sympathies?
Yeah. Anywho, of the losers, In terms of orders of losers, though, Weiner was humiliated by Weinstein. But it really is, like, as they say here, on Tuesday, Weiner, who only has the name of one sex offender, albeit his own, lost to a guy who bears the name of two of America's most famous sex offenders. Harvey Epstein.
It's Weiner.
It's Harvey Epstein.
Coming around the bend.
Yes.
Is it going to be Weiner? It's going to be Epstein.
It's Harvey Epstein. Now, I don't think I can play this, even though it is John Mulaney, who I love. But, I mean, even SNL took the piss out of it, because it's like, how? How is your name Harvey Epstein?
I know. Like, I mean, I just, like, man, sometimes, like, reality just, you know, and you even say this with a straight face, and people are just like, what are you supposed to say, bro?
Yep. The man with the last name is pedophile sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein, and the same first name is convicted rapist Harvey Weinstein, had 39% of the vote as of 1:30 a.m.
Who was the fucking journalist on this? J.K. Rowling. It sounds like some It sounds like shit she'd fucking write. I need a name for a sex offender. Fucking Jeff, like Harvey Epstein.
Wait, in terms of the on the nosedness of it, yes.
That is an interesting choice of words.
Really gets your items bouncing now, doesn't it? Just unbelievable. But here's the guy who actually won. I've seen some people saying he's based because he doesn't like the Jays. And he's making the Jays seethe. But this guy is a communist. I mean, first of all, you're not going to get anything good as New York mayor. I think, like, why would you expect to have anyone good elected as mayor of New York City? But I've seen a couple of conservatives be like, oh, he's based because he doesn't like the Jays. And it's like, yeah, but he's a communist, a wokeoid, weird homosexual.
Do you want to see his election ad in Hindi? I
oh yeah, let's go! Holy
I've
shit!
Been like farming like election materials for this guy because I'm covering it tomorrow on my show.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Okay,
yeah.
Hear me out. Pause on that before you play it. Like, go back to the very first frame. He looks like, okay, it's very specific.
Okay, what's your pool?
He looks like Nick Cage playing Ed Miliband.
God, he does though. He's definitely got the Cage vibe.
Alternately, because of his the specific age and facial structure, he looks like you told a leftist to draw any member of Lotus Eaters from memory. And this would be the vague kind of muddled mix that would come out the other end.
I don't even know who you're doing dirty there, but who are you insulting?
I'm surprised he's not already hired there. Isn't Juggy is on his way out?
Oh my god, let's see what this is though. Okay, it's not
Gesundheit.
Right? Did he actually speak this in Hindi?
Yeah, turn it up. It's in Hindi.
I don't know if I can turn it up any louder. Okay, yeah. Let's see. It is in Hindi. It's not who I'll be. It's what I'll do. For our communities and for every New Yorker. I'm going to make the city affordable. New Yorkers are struggling to afford food, clothing, and shelter. I'm fighting to change that. Rent-free, free buses, childcare, और सस्ती groceries के जरिए. Cheaper groceries. आपको एक सवाल पूछना चाहता हूँ. तुमने कभी किसी को वोट किया? Oh my god! It's like a Bollywood film.
More than
I think this is a compound clip. There's like much more stuff. He's also got a rap video.
Oh, does he? Oh my god!
I'm trying to stay sober tonight, guys. Can we please help me out on this? I'm not watching the rap video.
He's in like a food truck. Wait, hang on. I've got it here somewhere. Here we go. Right.
A food truck. Yes, we round out all the stereotypes.
Yeah, he's in a food truck rapping about how they make raps. Because that's.
Oh yeah, I saw a GIF.
Then that one he looks like Ray Swarsky.
Yeah, he does look like Ray Swarsky here. I saw a GIF of this, but I haven't actually seen the video.
Finally, we have an Indian knockoff of Ray Swarsky.
Oh,
it's finally happened. He looks so much.
Dude, he does look a lot like Ray Swarsky.
First of all, mute this before we get shit canned. But yeah, he looks exactly like Ray Swarsky.
Poor Ray Swarsky, he didn't do anything to ask. Oh my god, yeah, I saw a GIF of this. What the absolute fuck?
This is like something out of a nightmare I've had.
Yeah, it does feel like a fever dream.
Bollywood nightmare.
Yes.
Basically.
Bollywood nightmare.
All of Bollywood, fucking hell, easy on the sauce, man.
I This is
It's
making
so
me want to
weird
kebab.
how he's wearing no shirt though. It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah, first of all, I can think of many professions that can be conducted without a shirt. Like fry cook is the bottom
Right?
of the
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Like
Bad
that's up
idea.
there with like midwife in terms of things I don't trust motherfuckers if they do it.
Right. Fry cook.
Oh man, it's a shame you have to turn the sound off, right? I mean, it's
Well, I mean,
the
it might have
actual
been
soundtrack
okay.
is.
It might have been okay, but music is
Yeah, no.
so
I
aggressive,
understand.
yeah.
I'm just saying, right? Like
Right.
the soundtrack adds like a whole other dimension.
Also, peep the fucking like security camera inside the food truck.
Yeah, very strange. Very strange.
They disagree with, they hate a politician they can't trust.
On the subject of trust, you've adopted different speaking accents in different scenarios.
But they go to their local bodega.
Is there one that's
Wowee.
real and one that's affected?
What I would say is, as any immigrant knows, having been born in Kampala, Uganda, and then raised in South Africa and moving here when I'm 7 years old, is there a different...
Well, he's moved around more than like Raiden has, or one of those other child soldiers, and
Basically, the international Jeet.
yes, he's the yes, Jeet of the world.
The eternal Jeet.
The eternal Jeet, yeah.
parts of my life. A worldwide tour is a worldwide tour is a worldwide tour.
Mamdani was talking about a worldwide press tour.
Really? You think he was?
Back when he
Who
was
gave
a
it away?
rapper.
Bring the flavor to the fish, bring the flavor to the rice.
In a Disney movie directed by his mother.
Nepotism and hard work goes
Oh
a
my
long way.
God.
Here in New York City, this is how I speak, this is how I am.
Do you believe in the First Amendment, Tom Homan?
Oh, those are gonna play it anyway. This, yeah. I guess we're just if we get clapped, we get clapped. Well, I don't want to play any more than that. Yeah, it's just the rest of it's the music video. I'm just too worried about music because every time I play a little bit of it, it slaps it.
If we're gonna get shit canned for Indian music, I want it to at least be about
Right.
the only decent Indian
Right.
song I've ever heard in my fucking life.
That is one of the great things about not being monetized.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, you know, they just give you a little message saying, "Oh, your video is not available." And I'm like, oh.
Well, it will make it so people can't stay on the stream. It'll like it says the stream gets taken down for copyright and like you know nobody can see it.
I haven't had that happen to me.
Yeah.
Presumably because not enough people watch my stuff.
Newsy, mate, if I said half the shit I want to say, we wouldn't have to worry about demonetization. We'd have to worry about a fucking phone call from the police.
So they
That-
also.
I mean, that, you know.
Oh, go ahead.
No, that's how you know you're really being strident in it. You know. Of course, I love the United Kingdom and their like speech laws, right? I mean, I
they're
love
lovely.
it so
It's great.
so much, right? Like the great thing about them is that because my brain is like so small, I never actually have anything to say that could even possibly like contravene any of those laws. It's great, really.
yeah, excellent. I'd forgotten about it when I was in England last time. I was just like, it was, I don't even remember what was going on. Oh, it was stuff with the Ethan Klein, iDubbbz internet drama stuff, and I wanted to go check Kiwi Farms, and I forgot, oh, yeah, you can't even access Kiwi Farms from England, because it's just banned because of all of the free speech shit, yeah.
Do you not have a VPN?
Yeah, I mean, it was fine once I turned it on. I just went on Twitter.
Right.
But the thing is,
Yeah,
I just had not seen the fucking message that showed up before. I was like, oh, right, I'm in the UK, because, you know, here in Guernsey it doesn't happen. But
No one in our fucking government knows how to program a
Right?
fucking VCR. No chance getting any kind of like range blocking shit in place.
That's why they got a Quango to do that for them.
Mate, ironically, around the prison they installed an anti-drone net and an anti-drone jammer. They can't activate the jammer because the radius is larger than the island. So if they activate this thing, everything just fucking switches off.
Well, yeah, I guess
all hell breaks loose.
ships wouldn't be able to get in, right?
Oh yeah, I think it knocked out the travel tracker for the basically for everything on the island.
Yeah, right. So it's a GPS jammer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'm sure what the fuck.
That's not
like
good.
basically, I'm not even sure how. I'm not up on drone tech, so I'm not sure quite the extent of how badly things are fucked up.
Yeah.
But I know like Fish Finder was fucked for like 2 days.
So they released that guy who I thought they actually deported, the guy who was a Columbia University graduate who was still living in his dorm in Columbia and engaging in pro-Palestine, protest, riots, whatever. Shit stirring on campus. They didn't even deport him. He's been released. So there you go. But again, if you're talking about a bad week for the Jays, this guy also just got off. Now, in my opinion, this guy should be back wherever the fuck he came from, because he's been living in the U.S. for a year after,
or at least
after
at least
graduating.
applied.
Yeah, or on his way back, or something, instead of living off a fucking student visa when he's not a student.
Mate, I wish he'd been in jail for like 5 more days, and then they could have said after 109 days he was released.
Right. Oh my god,
You
yeah.
couldn't have stuck it out, mate. You couldn't have you couldn't have slapped like another inmate or something during a game
So
of cards.
close,
Got
so
yourself a couple
close.
extra hours.
Yeah. Just keep slapping somebody until you stay in there for 109. Then it would have been unfathomably based. I don't think he's that smart though. This was an interesting. So yeah, just bad week for Israel.
You love to hear it.
This escalated quickly. You have to actually kind of go back through this a little bit. So Wasson Watch Co., which is a luxury watch brand, put out this Twitter post. If you were bashing Nazi brains with a baseball bat, you'd wear a Wasson. It has come to our attention that there are actually a pretty large number of self-described Nazis in America today. They consider the Third Reich the epitome of civilization. They deify Hitler. They absolutely love the aesthetics of the Waffen-SS. And most importantly, they hate Jews. In expressing our opposition to this hatred, we have seemingly upset a whole host of Nazis who lurk in the shadows online, waiting to notice and J-pill everyone.
Of course I know him. He's me.
With whom they come into contact. It's disgusting. The greatest generation of American men already defeated the Nazis in World War II. At this point, we're going backwards. We need to let the Nazis know what time it is. This is an ad for a luxury watch, sir. This is a Wendy's. Like, what are you
As I
doing?
pointed out, okay, who are you trying to appeal to here?
I don't...
Trying to appeal to Zoomers. And
yeah, the Zoomers who are real into
activists.
luxury watches, I guess. The
And
Hassan
they
Piker.
might be, but they can't read analog watches.
This would not work on Zoomers. This is clearly targeted at the boomers.
It must be, right?
No,
Or the Hassan Piker.
Who cares about the greatest generation anymore? The
They don't
Zoomers don't
hate the
care about
Jews.
True
the
that.
greatest generation anymore.
Right, yeah, I guess it has to be aiming at boomers, but
But they buy Rolexes with money that should be going to the kids.
Oh, they do love doing that. Nothing that the boomers love more than
This is-
wasting their generational wealth.
This is flagrant market penetration attempt by a company that's trying to appeal to the very richest and most profligate examples of American excess.
Yeah, exactly. And as Fuss says in the chat, Zoomers who can't afford a house.
No, I don't mean your average Zoomer. I mean your ultra rich, streamer Zoomer, the Hassan Piker types who complain about Nazis all the time. Although even I think most of those people, I mean, he also hates the Jews, so he wouldn't like this. But I was thinking more of like the nouveau riche. Yes, the nouveau riche champagne
Like Hennessy
socialist.
Hezbollah or some
Yes,
shit.
that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. But no. I agree. You're correct. It is
Hamas.
clearly for boomers. If you were dragging kids into tunnels under New York, you'd wear a Wasson.
Bro.
I posted another one just below. You turn your eyes to our chat.
So here's where we ended up with. Wasson Watch is ran by CEO with ties to the NSA and Department of Defense, specifically language psyops. Twitter account ran by Jewish man. Pretends to blend in with the far-right crowd to grift. Can't hold back opinions once potential war for Israel arises. Burn all of your Nazi customer base. Engage in doxing. Woo. Yeah. Certainly seems like it. That they were kind of trying to be like the greetings fellow kids and then could not fucking help themselves. That's who they were trying to appeal to, I think. It's like the Zoomers with expensive watches and said could not fucking help themselves. But would accidentally
Could not
just do it.
Prevent themselves from kvetching for 5 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lord, for making my opponent so ridiculous. Every single time. That's pretty good.
Oh my god. Oh, that is like hilarious.
Dissident Sarah's posted this clearly anti-Semitic post in response to one of my recent posts, and I posted with the Nazi soap company has entered the chat. They did what they do. He's so bitchy and like a woman. They tucked tail and ran, deleted their post every single time.
That font, right? Like I mean, you must be old enough, Aiden, to remember when like they used that font on every single magazine ad when they were trying to sell like watches or cars.
Yeah,
or
it's
anything.
Times New Roman.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The
Was
only
it Times New
proper
Roman?
font.
Oh well, tells you what I know.
Well, it's a serif font, so it's probably not Times. The spacing's too thin. Probably some adjusted form, but then blocked the sky. Oh my, that was quite funny. Whole little thing. Yeah, just not a good week for Jews. I do have a thing to watch a little bit about the one good thing that happened to Jews this week. But before we get into that, let me hit the other super chats that we've got.
This is a very strange episode.
It is a very strange episode. Yeah, the Jays are taking L's.
We've fallen into an alternate timeline again,
Yeah?
boys.
What's happening?
This is what happens. I was convinced that Ken Watanabe died, and now he's alive
right.
again, and so something's fucking off.
The timelines, we switched timelines.
We fallen into a good timeline?
Lucy for the Doberman, who's been a member for 21 months, says, "All hail the bacon lovers." Yeah, what was the tentative title you had for the stream, Bill? It was
the Curse of Ham.
Yeah, the Curse of Ham.
Curse of Ham's a free bacon sandwich.
Bruh.
Mario Trillo for 5 says, "Since Spoon's gonna be elsewhere, can we get Kersha, Madam Savvy, and Aiden all in one stream? Also Harvey Epstein, score one for Clown World." Yeah, Kersha and I have talked a little bit. I don't know. I think I've spoken to Savvy a little bit on Twitter, but I don't know. Kersha's stream with Jim the other day was
Hang on, who
great
sent
fun.
that super chat?
Mario.
But saucy.
I mean, that would be fun. That'd be fun, yeah. Rep Bartholomew Cheesington for 5 says, "As a half British, half Australian, I despise the Sand Dogs for what they have done, but I'm fine with it winning New York if they stop being so dumb." I don't think much of anything's gonna change.
You think they're gonna start learning now? Isn't it a bit fucking late?
Yeah,
the year of our Lord 2025. Goodness.
Yeah. Do we
I
get to
promised
say...
myself today I'd swear less, but here we are.
Yeah, who do we get to say ooh woo now? I'll always say ooh woo. Mario Trillo
Sue
for
woo.
Sue woo. That is a gang line, phrase, term, whatever you want to call it. Like, you can get shanked in certain parts of the United States if you say Sue woo and you're not representing the right colors. Just pointing that out.
I'm so tired of throwing up blood. Then throw up Crip then.
They throw up Crip, yeah. Mario Trillo for 10 says, also Aiden, what do Miss Dutch? This is not a real language. Gott in Himmel. Wait, God in Heaven, I worked a catering job for a group of those dollar store Deutsches. No, what do we call them? Swamp Germans. Had to ask them to repeat their orders at least twice. No, I like the Dutch. We have several Dutchoid friends. Well, Penny now lives in the Netherlands. She's who did the art for the channel.
The Dutch and the Scottish really racing to see who can get the silver fucking place medal in the who can be the discount Jew competition.
What have the Scots done to deserve
They're
that?
on the tour. Everyone I know who is Scottish refers to themselves as a race as the discount Jew.
Really? I wasn't
Yes.
familiar with that. I've never heard
No,
much
you
of
see
it.
that religiously.
Did he really? Did he?
Yeah.
Religiously now? Okay.
Yeah.
Flan the Man 231, who's been a member for a month, says, as an elder Zoomer, I can read an analog clock or watch. I was shocked, though. I did read statistics on that a
Super precise
significant
for sand people.
a significant portion of Zoomers can't read analog watches. Maybe that's why they're coming back
Hang
into.
on, I've got to call that post of my own. She can't read military clock.
No, I can't. I really have to stop and think and calculate from 12.
So Anglosphere, a 24-hour clock. She cannot read that shit.
Yeah, I have
Only goes to 12.
I have my shit on a 12-hour clock on my computer because otherwise I get too confused. I don't know. It's not that I get actually confused. It just takes me an extra second to have to process it, and then I feel dumb. I have dyscalculia. Makes my brain go slow with numbers. That's why I look at numbers all the time. Anyway, let's see. What was?
God, it really does
yes,
look like
here
Ed
we go.
Miliband.
Here we go.
Honestly, dyscalculia sounds like a Black American daughter's name.
Yes, it does.
Put that shit down.
Put that shit down. It's just dyslexia with numbers where it just takes you like an extra second.
I know what it means.
It does sound like that though.
You get over here, dyscalculia.
I'm in a room full of fucking Mom's House podcast watchers. I'm in hell.
You don't even know that. You can see some of his tweets here though. Queer liberation means defund the police. Yep. My statement in the last 36 hours across Israel and Palestine. So this is, why the right-wing people are, some right-wing people are saying, oh, he's based,
I would not respect anyone who didn't post something along the lines of "shit's fucked." 2 words.
Everybody knows shit's fucked. Do.
You just post that video.
Yeah, everybody knows shit's fucked. I mean, that's better.
So just here's your stat: if you are running for mayor, local level of part of the government, here should be your stance on Israel. We'll burn that bridge when we come to it.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, honestly,
I actually do respect somewhat the fact that you said we're going to stick to the fucking matter at hand rather than go looking ring piece all over the fucking world like every other leader, so-called leader does. However, he is unfortunately a massive communist.
Yes, yes. Yeah, gay commie, rainbow communism, Marxist, gay. Now, this is really sad, but I did want to talk about this because this shit makes me so fucking furious that I knew I'd get angry. So, YouTuber and fox rescuer sadly takes her own life due to online bullying, according to her husband. Horrible. 29-year-old Michaela Rains took her life after suffering from mental health issues and online bullying. She couldn't bear what she was feeling any longer. She ended her life, her husband Ethan Rains said. It breaks my heart that someone who is selfless and devoted her life to animals could have so much negativity pointed at her. But those of you who pushed her to this, every one of you who has been responsible for making her feel this way, I wish you feel what she felt. Rains had more than 2.4 million subscribers on YouTube and 3 million on TikTok. She started Save a Fox Rescue, an animal rescue nonprofit, in 2017 at the age of 20. She leaves behind her husband and young daughter. I'd like to point out the daughter I have seen described as a toddler, so I'm assuming like 2 or 3 years old, something like that. And, I mean, it's awful. I don't want to really play this on air because it's just absolutely fucking tragic. You hear this man talk about his wife. And I mean, she killed herself, Now, there's a bunch of, I would say at this point, I'll just let it play so you can...
This is a video.
If you want to. But, I mean, I would recommend, if you want to see something really depressing, hear his statement on this. So...
But we're not going to do react content to someone's massive outpouring of personal grief and mourning.
Yeah, it's horribly fucking sad. But the question was, okay, who was harassing her and why? The actual answer to this question appears to be that it was other people who run fox rescues, like in the area, or run animal rescues in the area, just didn't like her. I'm guessing, from what I've seen, it sounds like it was a lot of envy because she had a very popular YouTube channel. So she had a lot more resources that came in because of the channel to devote to her rescue. It's also undeniable, as her husband talks about in the video, she was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and autism. And she had severe mental health problems, so that was a basal contributing factor, of course. Yeah, I know, it's terrible, Realm Grey Wolf. I'd seen her on YouTube a couple of times. Really, like, wholesome, sweet videos. And it's terrible now that because this woman has taken her own life, that all of their personal stuff gets dug into. So, like, for example, she had an OnlyFans, and so a lot of people are, disgusted with her for that and saying she deserved it. I don't think that's the case.
There's a very good reason that almost every single fucking culture on Earth has a taboo about rifling through the belongings of the dead.
Right. Also, that's... So okay, it appears that the main source of hatred that she was getting was from other people who ran animal rescues, who, in my opinion, were probably jealous. I don't really have any basis for that other than that's how it comes off to me, is that she's a pretty young redhead woman who had a very popular YouTube channel.
We had the same shit with fucking Peanut the Squirrel.
Yes.
And the raccoon.
And they also tried to say that because of the... I forgot the one good thing for Jews. I guess that happened this week. I'll get to it. Because I guess it does have to do with YouTube as well. So, yeah, some people... That's apparently why these animal rights activists went after her, because that was, again, the main culprit, people who were harassing her, calling her, trying to get her rescue shut down, appeared to be other people who own local rescues. Her husband says that it was particularly hurtful to her because some of them she considered to be her friends and they had betrayed her. But the person who's caught flack for it is that there was a subreddit that was devoted to harassing this woman. It was, Save a Fox Rescue Snark. And it's a bunch of extreme far leftoids who certainly were not contributing positively to this woman's life. And one of them has fucked around and found out pretty extremely at this point. So yeah, this is this Save a Fox Rescue Snark, like, that is just there to attack this woman. And it's always this way with these animal rights activists. They, for whatever reason, want the animals to be killed, because I know their explanation is that, well, the life in captivity is a worse fate than death for these animals. Now, the animals cannot live outside of captivity because it's how they've been born and raised. They're born and bred in captivity. So they cannot be released to the wild. That doesn't work out. And so these people think that it's a better fate for the animals to be dead. I don't agree with that.
Now, also, the people the guy who had Peanut Squirrel and this poor lady, the outliers in the group for animal rights places seem to be the people who aren't massive pieces of shit.
Yes.
Like, these are the outliers who are getting picked off.
insane.
Like, over here we had someone who was running a animal shelter, and she would routinely accuse other shelters of getting my mum was accused by her of running a fucking puppy mill.
Yeah.
Because we breed dogs. We breed pedigree dogs. Every once in a fucking
well, every once in a
once every 5 years we might have one litter, and it's all above board stuff. But she also, when she couldn't rehome a bunch of ferrets, she just released them into the south of the island, and now that area is people infested with
These people
stoats,
don't understand,
which are slaughtering local farm animals.
Well, apparently one of the things too is that some of the animals got injured or died, but that happens. It is inevitable, particularly because apparently one of the foxes had to have its leg amputated because it got into a fight with another fox. Look, I don't know the inside and outs of this woman's fox rescue thing. And she does seem that she had some serious mental health issues. However, none of that fucking justifies... apparently, again, the main force of the harassment was coming from people she knew. However, it was also... This person has been revealed as someone who had talked a bunch of shit on her, about her, and posted on these subreddits. Yeah, they look like about what you expect them to.
She looks like a very sane individual.
It is actually a male to female troon. Just has a really small head. Because I thought it was a female, but no, they just have a really.
It does
small
make sense because
skull,
all I know about the character of Spampton, I know against my will, and all I know about him is that he's a paedophile.
Is the character a pedophile?
I'm not sure at this point, and I don't really care to ask.
I've not played Delta.
But every single thing I've heard about, every single time this character turns up, noncery is somewhere right beside.
Well, what we do know about this person is that they are a furry and maybe a zoophile, which might explain some of the shit.
I told myself I wouldn't fucking indulge in
Yeah.
any chemicals today, apart from the cough medicine I needed to take before the show to actually speak.
And here's what they had to say. I'm not backing down, fuck off. You act like I went to Michaela's house, sliced her open, left her to bleed out. All I did was put together a few sources pointing out some things she did wrong. I had no hand in bullying of any kind, okay? Even though you were doing that. Even if I did, you're no better for calling me slurs, telling me you're going to dox me. They have been doxed, by the way. Sending me instructions on how to kill myself. You asked me if I'm proud of myself. If I killed myself with the guys you sent me, would you be proud of yourself? Get real. I can't find one death or doxing threat. What are you talking about? Yeah, I've received over 50 DM requests since the announcement. And, yeah, then they posted... This was after the fact. They came down and said that they did not feel remorse. When I first found out what happened, in the very heat of the moment, I felt no remorse. Then a pit made itself known in my stomach and began to expand, but how? With the way you people are behaving, the guilt is starting to wane. So no, they don't feel any fucking guilt. If they were responsible for this... Look, I don't think it is this person's fault. This woman seemed to have a lot of problems in her own life. I feel absolutely terrible for the child who has lost his or her mother now. But these people are all fucking insane. In many such fucking cases. As for the one good thing, I do have some better news stuff. So the one good thing that happened to Jews this week, I won't watch all of this, obviously, because it's quite long and everyone probably has heard the music. Ethan Klein is suing Denims, Frogan, and Caseytron. What H3H3 did, the conniving Jew... Oh, there we go. There he is.
That needs to be a soy jack.
Perfect place to just skip to so we can talk about Ethan Klein. About 3 months ago, Ethan Klein put out a content nuke video denouncing and calling out the many hypocrisies and bullshittery of Hassan Piker. Okay. And he had registered it with the Library of Congress before releasing it, and then a bunch of the Twitch losers who sit there and smoke weed and go, and eat food while not reacting to content, at least 3 of them he is now suing.
Okay,
and he's gonna win. Pretty sure.
At this point, Ethan Klein, with that particular level of thinness, looks like Aziz Ansari from Parks and Rec, but white.
Yeah, whitish, yes.
Like someone that came out in the sun and he got bleached.
The thing is...
Weirdly, I can't find a picture of Aziz with a cigar. I was looking over the damn thing.
He's not cool enough to smoke cigars. The thing is, I am on his side because the people he is fighting against are so much worse, and they're so stupid. They are so stupid. The one woman who he is suing, Casey Tron, who she is known for just smoking weed on Twitch, which you can apparently do. I mean, you can bring on terrorists on on Twitch. You can do anything. You can just watch all full episodes of Iron Chef on Twitch. You can do fucking anything.
Hassan, if you want an actual right-wing ultra right-wing white supremacist on, I'll go on your show. You'll have to cut me a check. But, Bill's got to pay the bills. You know what I'm saying? And I will happily give you a couple of hours of content that you can shill out to all your leftoid friends. You make a bunch of cash on the backswing.
Yes, I know it is Pharisaic lawfare, and it is in that sense very, very Jewish.
That's a face on the screen right there that says "Time to set the Talmud."
But I also they put in little. This is the thing too. His lawyer. Or team of lawyers wrote little cute headlines for all the sections of the 3 people he's suing. So for Casey Tron, it was she smoked weed more than she spoke, which she did. She spent more time smoking weed than she did actually adding to his to any commentary to the video. And now, in a really amazing twist of fate, she has come out saying she has no recollection of ever reacting to it in the first place, and that all the videos of her reacting to it are AI. So we're gonna see how that pans out.
Are you telling me there are people who make serious money just going on Twitch, smoking weed, and playing other people's videos? Then I'm in the wrong business.
I know. I was about to say precisely that.
And
you
would think
smoke weed on camera.
You would think, well, she must have to be really hot, right? But like these are these are some older pictures. You can still find a lot of the older. Here you go. Here's from 2 days. This is the woman making. Now I don't think she's making fat stacks, but she is making money going on Twitch, smoking. I mean, again, just well, she was doing something called a volcano bag. I've never even heard of this. What is a volcano bag?
A volcano bag is like a vaporizer.
Oh, okay.
They're made in Germany, I think. Basically, and you put like a sort of big sort of kind of like plastic bag on the top, and it fills it up with vapor. A lot of people, like cancer patients and stuff, like use them.
Oh, okay.
I've seen these.
Yeah.
Well, here's the clip of her. Is this actually the clip?
We still have one of these.
This is hilarious. Yes, this is amazing. Can you fucking Reddit? Okay, thank you. Well, at least it's here. This is amazing. So she gets caught. She just plays this video while she smokes weed, and in one of the lines she just says, "Oh, I've lost the plot. I have no idea what's going on." That's what her level of commentary is in watching this video. Here's her now reaction since she's being sued.
Just because I didn't react to his stupid video, he had to make up that I did and put a video of me smoking weed over his stupid video to get attention. I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck about your video. Like, I don't know. I don't recall reacting to it.
Okay.
I don't believe that I reacted to it. I do not.
False memory syndrome with the power vested.
This whole thing was clearly designed, right, to net Hassan Piker. But for some reason, right, Hassan didn't play it, right?
Well, Hassan didn't play it for months. He did eventually watch it, but his reaction was like 12 hours long, and he didn't even finish watching it. So he clearly was fair use in his
and he made sure that his little toady was in the room with him.
iDubbbz, yes.
iDubbbz, so that he could get dragged down with him. But this is, I think that.
But all these little idiots got caught in it.
Yeah, he's like, one. He knows that all the fucking tag-alongs will do this, and they'll be cocky about it, and they'll say things like, "This streamer, so you don't have to give him a view," and those 3 idiots did.
They said that explicitly. Yes.
The whole point here is not to go. You don't have to go after Hassan, because Hassan will sink himself. He'll do something fucking stupid one day. He does it every single fucking day. But the whole point is go after people who are his hangers-on. Attack not the person, but his the little like cadre that insulate him, and make sure he has someone to say yes to him.
Yeah.
Now, if you go with Hassan, Hassan's a liability. He's fucking persona non grata. You are associated with Hassan, you are a target now to fucking lie to these fucking liability lawsuits.
Yeah, and Cold War Micro 5 says, tip for advanced noticers, don't slight a Jew and then do something legally dubious. Don't be like these drug addicts. Yes, that's, again, I'm not cheering on Ethan. It's more just like, well, what did you expect to happen? You're trying to play legal games with a Jew. Like, it just seems like a bad idea.
I'm gonna go fist fight a bear and follow up with like having a swimming race with a fucking dolphin.
In other funny lefty news, Destiny blocked his own son on Twitter.
We knew this was a matter of time.
Yeah, because he's like a Polak.
Yeah,
right?
It's because he uses
runs
pole.
like 4chan.
Yeah.
He's,
which, by the way, Destiny does too. So, but apparently, yeah, he blocked his son because he uses pole.
Like I remember it was a big
It's
like
really
controversy
sad.
because during the original, right at the start of the controversy, because his son streams as well, his son made a crack like, "Hang on, guys, I'll be right back." Like racked like an airsoft AR to go walk into the other room.
Walked into the other room and shot him with it. Yeah. Yeah, his son's pretty based.
Imagine growing up with him as a parent.
Well, I don't think he really was much of one, from my understanding. I think he
Yeah.
only saw him occasionally, and he wasn't a very active figure. I don't know, though. That's just...
You brought me into this world slightly brown. I will never forgive you.
So Carmelo Anthony was indicted in Frisco track meet stabbing, death of Austin Metcalf, officials say. I do not know why people still simp and protect this guy. It was like the most clear-cut case imaginable, but I still see defense for him, and it must just be he's brown, therefore he could do no
And the
harm.
footage just come out and completely like rinses his whole alibi.
Yeah.
Like it's provable. It's clear as day. He just murdered this man in cold blood.
Murdered him in cold blood, and the best defense
There was
is...
not even a shot. Like the whole thing's like, oh, it was a physical altercation. There wasn't. He just pulled the knife and immediately stabbed him.
The best that they have is, well, yeah, he was a bit rude, so therefore that deserves stabbing, apparently.
Well, fucking hell, I didn't know this. Apparently, if you're rude to someone, you can just kill them in the fucking street. Well, I work in wholesale food, selling food to foreign people, so I'll be right back. I've got a whole busy evening.
You know what it is. It's that, like, well, I may be a PDF, but at least I'm not rude. You know, it's that kind of shit, right? Unfucking believable. Crazy shit. But yeah, he's been... I'm shocked, but there you go. He's been indicted. I guess we'll see where that goes. Other small wins, of course, we all know that woke is being put away because everyone's fucking tired of it. It's absurd and ridiculous. So this movie, which I didn't even know came out, flopped. Some woke Pixar movie, again.
Another tweet I saw, which sums it up very nicely. You know, if you make films that aren't just like a college entrance exam, like question answer about like making tortillas with their abuelita, maybe someone will go and watch your bullshit.
Thank you for the 1000 HUF Saranthus. Just hearing her with the Valley Girl inflection makes me want to stop listening to your podcast. Please, don't worry, it was temporal. I can't tolerate that woman either. That's actually the most coherent I'd ever heard her speak. But I've only ever heard about her through this stuff.
HUF Hungarian forint. I was not aware that was still fucking legal tender.
Is it? Is that what that is?
Apparently so, yeah.
Thank you.
HUF Hungarian forint.
Oh, fuck yeah. Pixar's sequels suck. Elio face planted. Worst start in Pixar's 30-year history, earning $21 million domestically and $35 million globally. That's fucking abysmal.
$150 million fucking production before marketing. Well, first of all, none of us have seen it, so obviously that money was pissed away.
No, but it all looks identical. It's all this fucking Adventure Time,
Cal
blob, Cal Arts, yes, style. Everyone's bored with it. And no one wants to see any more of this shit.
See, this is the problem. Without Scrump's busy mediating our bullshit rather than being out there threatening Cal Arts personally.
I look back in the good old days. Oh yeah, people probably don't know that. Didn't he end up on a bunch of news reports and stuff for that?
Oh yeah,
right. Yeah.
If I recall correctly, back in the day, because we were in. I'm not sure if
he
he was
said
still in the swamp at those
feeling
days.
something, or is there something like "Don't come to Cal Arts tomorrow" is what he tweeted, or
Yeah,
so.
the usual meme. Like,
you know.
I think he was still in the. Yeah, I think everyone was still in the swamp in those days. So it was like, but up to no good again, Scrump. I see.
Many such cases.
You know, I think he was piling on Cabal at the time.
Oh, maybe. But that fucking flopped, and now there's another big flop to look forward to, which is Ironheart, which is more woke garbage. But this one appears to be one of those cases where they woke so close to the sun that it ends up being really racist in a funny way. Like the things I've seen about this Ironheart movie is that she's just an overt this is just rude. A Willow and 9, they're my favorite website. Yeah, they gave the show a 5. IGN has, which is
Willow a 9, and Willow is legitimately unwatchable and features a scene where someone drinks evil cum.
They gave Concord a 7.
Oh man, it must be bad.
Yeah.
If IGN gives it a 5, you know it's doomed, mate.
I mean, the whole plot is that she is just an arrogant thief and criminal who takes a big shit on Tony Stark's legacy at any fucking opportunity.
I've seen, because there is one scene in Iron Man 3 where after he crashes, when he's like laid up on, is legitimately just Tony Stark up on bricks.
I mean, well, because she steals his suit. I think that's the plot of the film, isn't it? Yeah.
There were a couple of panels from the original comic going on.
Yeah, I remember when the original comic came out.
There was a subplot where basically she goes to her teacher, and she's like, you know, oh, you need to tell me that like I can't be something because I'm black, and the teacher's like, no, you know, I can't do that. Like, you know, look, all that was a long time ago, right? And so she keeps pestering the teacher, and then eventually, you'll never be Tony Stark, and she's like, that's what you think, right?
Yes, that is this character's actual canonical like motivation, is that she tries to goad her teacher. She's race baiting her teacher. The teacher doesn't fall for it, and eventually she says, "Okay, you'll never be." Yeah,
she seems like actually upset that she would even say that to her.
Right.
Like,
And this is
it's fucking mean.
And this is supposed to be our protagonist, so of course the movie is apparently not being well received. But I mean, this is just
a film or a series, because like I know
it's a TV show. I think I'm pretty sure that this is a TV. This is going to be a TV.
Their track record for those is
whatever.
worse than their films.
No, Marvel's. I mean, good God, they've released Echo, unbelievable levels of slop. But woke shit is certainly being put away. I mean, we got wartime now. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, here's the meme about it from Meme Bastard. Good follow. Mr. Khan over here. Supposedly smarter than Tony Stark, bites an electric wire, sells her soul to gain magic powers, uses new powers to steal. What did the writers mean by this? Smoke detector beeps.
Oh yeah, she's a tie-in into fucking A Brand New Day, isn't she?
Or something like that, yeah.
Her shows how Mephisto is coming into the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
Like, already a character that is universally reviled as a lazy plot device every time he turns up.
Yeah.
And he's coming in during this and legitimately sold her soul for magical powers.
I mean, it is worth noting. I will end on this, I guess, just because this is a little bit. I mean, I don't really have much to say about it, but that these people do still exist. The woke is being put away, but they will continue to kind of skulk about, and eventually they will all look like this. The hangers-on of this woke phenomenon. They'll all
look like Grimmer Wormtongue's mum.
Be 80 years old with the dyed hair and the big fucking glasses. What is she even bitching about here again?
And that data is coming from the Customs and Border Patrol, CBP. I don't make it up. But fentanyl seizures are down. At your confirmation hearing, you asserted that you will do everything in your power.
She's like fucking Ming the Merciless with them fucking rings.
I know, with the rings.
Your budget request
she looks like a Marvel comic book character.
Firearms and explosives. ATF proposes a cut of 26%.
No, she looks like a character out of the original Batman movies. The one that where Jack Nicholson was playing.
Oh yes, Joker. She absolutely does. Tim Burton.
Oh yeah.
Yes, Tim Burton design.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
What would this be like? Like Granny Goodness, I guess.
I don't know. I watched a little bit of this. Pam Bondi fucks with her a little bit though.
Level.
You turn it up.
Yeah. I turned it down a bit there for a second. There we go.
Such a massive cut without inevitably weakening ATF's ability to help our state and local law enforcement fight illegal gun trafficking. How many ATF law enforcement officers and industry operations investigators do you anticipate will be lost to attrition as a result of this funding reduction?
That's why she looks like Dracula Fly.
She doesn't like Dracula Flow.
Give me the fucking.
I mean, just the dichotomy of woman, right? You go back to Pam Bondi.
We're a prosecutor.
She looks like a Skeksis.
She looks like. What is that? What it is? Is it a weird fucking psyop to make you like second guess that you're even in your own body when you're looking at that?
Yeah.
You're staring down the barrel of someone who looks like she was a one night stand with the fucking Mandarin 50 years ago.
Yeah. She moves like a witch, what the fuck? Yeah, Galactic Emperor Schlim, thank you for the $2. But yes, she does. She looks like a witch. Sold on the lich for 100 ARS says, arrogant thieves and melanin rich. Why do the Disney certified good persons keep putting those two elements together? Are there no mirrors at home? I don't know. It's part of their whole like leftist narrative that the only reason that people are in any kind of bad position is because the system's out to get them, and therefore they have the right to take the law into their own hands because the system is evil or whatever. Laws are bad.
It's the system that's against me. I shall prove this by selling my soul to the devil.
Well, it's all Marxist shit, right? About the redistribution of goods, ultimately, that people having more than you, very specifically, because if you look at the social science data, the psychological data, people who vote for this and who support this, like far leftist commie shit, they are driven by the psychometrics, by envy at other people having things that they don't have. That's it. If they can get, they will take less money so long as another person also gets less. That's their driving, motivating forces. Just as they just want to have more than others.
And I believe in keeping America safe, making America safe. First, what we're doing is ATF is going to be brought over with DEA. Everyone knows, everyone sitting up here, guns and drugs go together. They go together.
Oh, hell yeah, for a good time.
Make it more efficient. What I would tell you will not be happening is ATF agents will not be knocking on the doors of legal gun owners in the middle of the night asking them about their guns. They're going to be out on the streets. If I can finish, they're going to be out on the streets.
I have three
No.
minutes.
You asked me a question.
I did, and
you asked me a question.
and you haven't
I'm gonna
answered my
it.
question.
So they're going to be out on the streets working
You haven't
hand in hand
answered my
with
question.
DEA
You
to
haven't-
This
buy-
is my only point. Like, this is just, let's let her go.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like an
My
answer.
point is that you will never get rid of these people. They're just gonna stick around until they fucking die. Such is democracy.
They will be Democrats forever. They will vote via Ouija board.
You know what I
as
mean?
they do.
Yes, this is. I mean, there'll always be your Holden blood feasts, and there'll always be the screeching fucking feminist. They are eternal.
And the question is not being answered. How many ATF law enforcement officers and industry operations investigators do you anticipate will be lost to attrition as a result of the funding reduction you are proposing? You are proposing a 26% cut to ATF for fiscal year 2026, as well as a 4.4% cut to DEA.
She really is like a witch.
So you're going to merge the two agencies together, and then you're going to...
I felt several times tonight as if I'm having a fucking fever dream. The way that this started, and then that fucking video that with the mayor of New York, that was unbelievable. I still can't believe that was real. Just the absurdity of the.
Yeah,
where would you go?
Admit,
I'll go to Israel.
I'm having an
Immediately.
out-of-body experience if ever I've had one.
God damn it.
shortchange their resources, so neither one of them will be able to do the job that they have been designed to do. You've got a 34% cut to the high-intensity drug trafficking areas program, no dedicated money at all for the Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Force. So, my view, it's fair to say that the Trump administration proposal shortchanges federal efforts to stop illegal gun trafficking.
Whatever. And my only point in bringing this woman up was just because she looks like a fucking witch and you'll never get rid of them. So to kind of wrap everything up, because that's what I got for tonight. We went through a little fast, I think, because I got a little bit thrown off my kilter there. And I am going to respond on Twitter to it, guys. But anywho, I think as for the whole Trump, Iran, Israel stuff, just to wrap that up, because that obviously is the news of the fucking decade, really. We'll see. It's still, things could still change, I suppose. It's definitely possible. If 4chan is right and there is a terrorist attack in New York or something, and it seems like maybe the time has passed now, but you never know how things could change, I guess. I think, I don't know. Am I wrong, NewsFist in particular? Am I wrong for thinking that these are positive sort of signs? Because, you know, try not to get white-pilled on anything and hopeful about shit.
I think it's very positive, right? Imagine if Kamala Harris or Nikki Haley or DeSantis or who's the guy who was on Tucker? Not JD Vance. Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz, yeah.
Right? Imagine if any of those people were right? Like they would have just been like, you know, yes, Israel, whatever you want.
Right.
Israel, right? I think one of the big problems that the American establishment has is that they just accept everything that Mossad says uncritically.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not getting that general impression from the Trump administration.
Trump seems genuinely pissed off that they keep pulling shit with him.
Right, but they could just also be doing stuff like, you know, okay, Mossad says this, right? And they're like,
right.
Have we got any independent checking on that, right? Like, what do our guys say,
Yeah.
right? Whereas the pure neocon position is like, well, if Mossad says it, right, like it must be true, right? It must be gospel.
Yeah.
I think that Trump has realized, and if he didn't realize, because I think this is the thing. This is how they get U.S. presidents, right? They enclose them with a bunch of people, and then they start some shit in a foreign country, right?
Yes, yes.
And that sucks up all their time and attention, right?
Yep.
And while they're focusing on Ukraine or Iran or whatever stuff is going around, they're not focusing on domestic stuff, right? And so they leave all the to do their domestic glowy sort of like work.
Right,
And then all you've got to do basically is wait them out, right? Their initiative to like reform at home derailed. And I'm pretty sure Trump realizes that if he had actually started like a proper war with Iran, the MAGA base would have just turned on him.
Well, they were.
Look,
They were.
I was already like, oh my God.
I was done.
The Fell for It Again award. Here we fucking go.
I was right there with
like,
you, man.
Why would anything nice ever happen?
I mean, I was right.
Exactly, right. Here we go. So Iraq, 2 points. How could I ever even believe, right, that someone with principles could be allowed to approach?
No, and people are. I've seen some of the hardcore ultra MAGA people being like, oh, you've all proven yourself to be traitors, and it's like, no, it's called pattern recognition. We've seen how this plays out over and over again. He goes, oh, here we go again. That's what the last stream was titled. Was oh fuck, here we go again, for that exact reason, because it really look. I know we call us panicans, I guess, Lance, but at some point it's just like, when you have all of the evidence that shows this is what's going to happen, and then it does not happen. I've very rarely seen AA not predict stuff. I don't think
Look at it this way,
did.
folks. Do you blame a beaten wife when she flinches?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right.
Exactly. Right. And all of us Gen Xers, right, had to watch all of the, like, if anyone who did not live through the lead up to the Iraq War, right? It is hard to convey just the sheer amount of constant bullshittery that was happening. Like, it was just like every single, oh yeah, right. Like, they just lied. Like, just lied. Like,
Constantly
so
about
much.
everything. Yeah.
Jenny killed the guy.
Yeah.
Yes, and Lance, you're right. Use your pattern recognition to see that Trump had already done this before, twice in his last term. This was a bigger scale, much a bigger scale, I think. And I'm very pleasantly surprised by Trump because of his connections with Israel, his familial connections with Israel. Despite him moving away from Bibi, and because he's been doing that for months, I just expected it to happen. I thought they really had him on the leash.
Like, I'm usually the
contrarian.
I'm usually the contrarian of the fucking team here.
Yeah.
And like, even I was like completely bamboozled by it. Like, even I fell for it. It's like, fuck. It was just like, here we go fucking again.
Yeah,
but
it's what it seemed to be. But hey, for the first time in a long time, I'm pleasantly surprised with politics in general in any kind of way. But we'll have to see how it plays out. Right now, things are looking pretty fucking good. It's not for the Jays so much, but for America, very good sign. I'm very currently quite white-pilled on it. So that's Well, again, we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's actually all I had for that night. We kind of blazed through it again. I'm a little bit off sorts, but you know what? It was really great to have you here, though, NewsFist, because particularly talking about the international relations and the war stuff, you knew a lot more about that than I did. It had much more information on it.
And actually play on the theology.
Yeah, it's my area of expertise. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. No, it was great. It was great to be on. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm glad I could help out.
In that sense, it was a perfect week for you to come on because it was all this, international politics stuff. But again, sorry for the the drama. Unfortunately, it's life. You can't escape it, man. It happens one way or another. But anywho, I think we're gonna head up for an early evening tonight. I gotta go write some shit on Twitter. I was hoping to just edit today, but over the rest of the evening, I'm probably gonna sleep afterwards. Anywho, though, I'd love to have you back on again sometime, for sure, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That'd be great.
Hell yeah. Do you want to actually send me can you post a link to your stuff so I can post it in the chat over here too?
Yeah, I'll send you. I'll send you a link to my YouTube channel.
Oh, there was
could really use some like subs because, as you can imagine, YouTube loves you. No, I'm not monetizing anything like so I just, I don't get reach. But anyone listening, if you enjoy this kind, I'm sure you'd enjoy my show. Well, I mean, I hope you'd enjoy it,
Hell
right?
yeah.
Like,
Oh, real quick, Based Hillbilly for Two says African can't make his own money, wants Gibbs. I'm not gonna talk shit, and I'm not in that sense. I don't want to start some kind of war. I hope everything can be resolved amicably. I can't pull. I think I have a Trump option here though. So just trying to.
We're not here
calm down.
We're not here to pull piss in that regard.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let me see. Oh, here we go. Yep. Here's NewsFist YouTube channel. Boop-a-doo. I will also add that to the description.
Like, share, and subscribe, and all of that.
Yes.
That would be,
I should have asked you about that in the beginning. But I'll go ahead and add that to the description as well if you're watching after the fact. Omnipotent8383 for 10 says, the Russian patriarch is illegitimate due to Peter the Great Western reforms. The Russian government has been controlling the church since all of Christianity is cooked, my brothers in Christ. Yeah, I've also heard that exact criticism of the Russian Orthodox Church. I guess there's the Greek Orthodox,
No, they're infiltrated, unfortunately.
Yeah, they were there also. You're right. Slosher for 50 Canadian, thank you so much, man. Holy shit. Says, sorry things went south with Spoon. Not the first podcast I've seen like this. Hope things go well for all of you in the future. Yeah, thank you, man. I hope it does. Bill and I are still going to be here. Spoon does his own thing, too. He has been for a while. So,
I came with the furniture.
No food talk this week, Flann McManuel, but I have some stuff I'm putting together, so I always am doing some cooking, but I've been so busy with editing. Anywho,
what is your current mega autist video on? I know you were describing it briefly on Discord and Dragons, but
okay.
I can't remember what it was about.
So it is a 3-hour-long documentary about this guy Didier Raoult, who is he's still there. He is a microbiologist at the University of Aix-Marseille. He was the hydroxychloroquine guy.
That's right. That's right. When Trump tweeted about hydroxychloroquine back at the start of the pandemic, and that was a big thing for months, for years, even up until relatively, I still occasionally people mention hydroxychloroquine, sort of as like that. Oh, it was this drug that cured COVID, and they hid it away from all of us because of the evil government. Now, trust me, that shit does happen. Ivermectin was completely erroneously maligned, and hydroxychloroquine was too. Hydroxychloroquine is one of the most commonly used drugs and one of the most important drugs in the treatment specifically of malaria, but it's also used for rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, other autoimmune diseases. And it was maligned also because it became this whole political shit. But the thing is, everybody was fucking wrong about this drug. It just didn't have anything. It didn't do anything for COVID. Right? It just didn't. Only horse-paced shads will...
Only horse-paced shads. Well, apparently ivermectin actually did. But Raoult is... This guy... I fell into the Raoult hole, which sounds disgusting, and trust me, he is a slimy motherfucker. But...
The Diddy hole.
Well, here's the thing. His first name is Diddy. So, let's be... Let's be real.
Yeah, why the fuck were we surprised by fucking literal Harvey Epstein when we've got
Didier
Raoult?
Didier Raoult. But it's the shit he is a fascinating figure in that he is this supreme narcissist, in my opinion, who has played real fast and loose with medical ethics for the last 40 years in ways that are kind of astonishing that he got away with it for so long. He's one of the most prolific scholars in the entire field of microbiology. He has something like 300,000 papers. The guy is insane in terms of, but that's because he doesn't write that stuff, does he? His institute writes it.
Well, I will definitely be listening to that.
3 hours, man. But it's
3 hours, man.
Lock in.
The editing on it is coming along pretty quickly, which is good because I'm so into. I want people to hear the story. It's crazy.
It actually looks like something from a professional.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'm working on it. What do you have in the works? Anything you're working on?
Yeah, I started a script on the likely options for insurgent warfare. In Iran, because my current theory on what Israel's going to do is, I heard a rumor that they're planning on offering quote unquote security guarantees to the Kurds and the Baluchis. Right now, if you know anything about Iran, the Kurds are sort of up in the northwest, bordering Syria, and the Baluchis are down in southeast, bordering Pakistan. And I was going to do a sort of big autistic thing on the different ethnicities and you know, how they could strike the oil supply and stuff like that. But the thing is, right, I've been having a bit of trouble working.
Hang on, sorry, you keep cutting out a little bit. Do you have the, not the noise gate, what's it called? The, voice detection thing? Are you using that on Discord?
Possibly.
It hasn't been, it's been a little bit on and off all night, but just like when you're describing this,
No, I've got the echo cancellation. It might just be my crappy London internet.
Oh,
to be
okay.
perfectly-
Right. I forgot you were in Londonistan, right? Yes.
No,
Sorry.
that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, the problem is, like, since I came back to London, it's so depressing here.
Oh, yeah.
Like, my God, right? Like, the whole place is, it's just bloody terrible. So,
Now is the time to start our plan to import a bunch of influencers to Guernsey and then overthrow the fucking regime.
influencer occupied government. I like it.
Oh, exactly. We can all be racist.
So yeah, that will probably become a script for Empire of Lies.
Oh, hell yeah.
At some point, I think tomorrow, we're talking about sort of just, you know, Islam, and so it'll probably just be like a shit posting stream. Come along to Use the Unix. Great SEO if you just type Yiz YIZZ into YouTube.
Yes.
It comes up. Unlike myself, right? YouTube always like sends you to a Hindustan news first instead. But you can actually find me on YouTube now. For ages, you couldn't find, like, I was literally unsearchable on YouTube because they love me so much. You see.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm surprised that Yiz is searchable, but it had been a while, but I was on Yiz's show this last week, and I often am. I tweeted out links for her stuff, which is Discordant Dragons as well. But yeah,
I was on once.
Yes. But yeah.
You know, let any fucker in.
I was awesome having you on, man. Sorry again that you got to see the fucking drama. Jesus Christ. Anywho, let's have you on again sometime when things are less weird, right?
Okay, sweet.
All right.
See you later.
Thank you so much,
Good night,
and
everyone.
cheers, everybody. Thanks for shutting up. Bye bye.